particularly like him, so I won't introduce.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
The KMOX Business Desk. Home insurance premiums have soared in Illinois in just the past few years.
Illinois homeowners saw the second largest increase in home insurance rates in the country.
We have Utah, homeowners saw their rates go up by 59%. And Illinois by 50%.
Consumer Federation of America's Sharon Cornelison tells KMOX that's more than double the national average. Among the reasons for the spike, an increase in extreme weather events, overall inflation that's boosted the cost of repairs. But she also contends it's weak regulation of insurance companies. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The Dow from Stifel down 91 points to 38,223. 44 going east at Murdoch. There is some flooding that's closed down 141 south at 44 and 44 west, the exit ramp to 141 as well. Some road work on 44 east at Six Flags has the left lane closed. Emergency vehicles on 141 going north at 370 there on the left shoulder, and a crash in the right lane of 6440 going west to Kings Highway.
We are finally breaking the rainy weather pattern. Lots of sunshine this afternoon, but it is cool in the northwest flow. Also, still a little bit windy, 59 for the high, so our temperatures stay below average. Tonight, clear, cold, still on tap for a light freeze across the areas. We go down to about 29, 30 degrees. Tuesday, sunny. It's a cool day, 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in, some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late afternoon Wednesday into Wednesday night. The high Wednesday, 65 degrees. Now, there's still flooding going on, especially along some of the smaller streams and also along the Merrimack River. River's high, but at least the levels are all starting to drop now. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sachs Financial. We've got sunshine. It is 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This is Jeff Sachs at Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com. Retirement security means a peace of mind, knowing you have the freedom to live the life of your dreams and to wake up each day without financial stress. Let us simplify your retirement today. retiresafestl.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Good afternoon, St. Louis, DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Man, I almost forgot how to open the show after 3 days off.
It was a long break, wasn't it?
I didn't get in my car. I didn't get in my car.
Not once?
No.
Hey.
I mean, I got in there and sat there for a while once.
Well, yeah.
Like I need to charge the batteries.
I just did buddin'.
Oh, gotcha.
And speaking of cars, I started up my car this morning and it was like, you need to immediately change your oil.
Oh,
it didn't give me
sucks.
any warning. Like, because sometimes it'll be like, oh, you're at 20%. I'm at 5%.
Yee. Yeah, you better get
So
that
I'm going to
done.
get that done like tomorrow
Having
morning.
blown a couple of engines in my day.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good to be on like the very final moments of that.
Right. Yeah, I didn't throw out my back because to throw out your back, you have to be vertical. But I swear I tweaked my back, my lower back where my butt turns into my back turns into my butt. There's that no man's land where they fight over it. Like, this is ass territory. Just hurt so bad from just lying there for 3 days, watching baseball. It was simultaneously wonderful and terrible. Right?
Sounds
Yeah,
good to
I
me.
get what you mean.
Yeah.
It was. It was
Yeah.
just like, what am I doing
to
with my life? That I'd start to get up and do something. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Back to
I
the
need
couch.
to lay back down.
My butt hurts.
Paul's asking, does Dave wake up in the middle of the night to watch F1? I do. I haven't recently, but I've done it many, many times. I'm an F1 guy.
Oh.
I'm a racing guy. My grandpa Grandpa Glover built some of the very first race cars ever, like in the 20s and stuff. In fact, if you Google Dick Glover racing, you'll see pictures of him. And he had the Glover Ranger. I don't know if he patented it, but he created a race car with an airplane engine called the Glover Aviator. And so my dad was really into it. We'd go to Tri-City Speedway all the time. And I've been to NASCAR. I've driven NASCARs. And so I'm into it.
Very cool.
Thank you, Paul. How about you guys? Did you get off your backs?
I did a couple times, but I mostly laid on the couch as well. It was one of those weekends. It was rainy
really
and gloomy, and I got up and ran errands and stuff and cleaned the apartment a little bit. But for the most part, it was, White Lotus season finale was on last night, so there was a lot of TV watching in anticipation of that.
Yeah.
And now I'm sad because that's.
How did you like the ending? I've heard mixed reviews.
I was fine with it. I'm not like typically a person who's like, the ending was so bad. I think the ending is what it is on many, many things.
Jake, I'm a McLaren guy. Oh, you say you're a McLaren guy. Yeah, I like McLaren. We're having a private conversation here.
Yeah.
If you'd like to join us, you can go to YouTube and stream the show during, after, before.
It's always there.
Yeah, it's always there. Multiverse.
Nice.
Okay. Can we start with sports?
Whatever you like.
WTF?
Dude.
What's going on?
Well, nothing good over the weekend. And I shouldn't say that. The offense was good.
The offense was
over
good
the weekend in Boston. They scored 20 runs in 3 games. You should win 2 of 3 if you're scoring 20 runs in 3 games.
Yes.
So that's the good news. The bad news is everything else. The pitching stunk. Palante was okay. It wasn't terrible.
Man, Helsley.
But
I've never seen
Helsley
him do that.
Walked 4 guys in the 9th inning, came in with a 2-run lead in the first game yesterday and just didn't have it. No command. Wound up blowing the game, and that obviously led to last night, which was just Miles Michaelis wearing it.
Look, I'm sure Miles is a wonderful man, a fine man, a good father, but Lord, if ever I could hit off someone.
Miss a bat, guy.
Miss a bat.
Well, he's on my nerve today, too, because after the game, he literally said the words,
Him's got one nerve.
Sometimes there's not much you can do. Yeah, how about this? I hate that idea because that's making it sound like it's bad luck. Like I made some good pitches. He said, I think Ollie said something like, can't do anything when it's not hit at someone. Well, yeah, but when you give up six hits at 100 miles an hour or more in 2 2/3 innings, because that's all you last, that doesn't even count the other 2 that were over 96 miles an hour. So you gave up 8 balls that are considered super hard contact while recording 8 outs, and you got 2 swings and misses in 81 pitches.
And maybe
you threw 81 pitches and they missed twice.
Maybe this shouldn't matter, but
that's not
to me,
bad luck.
When you're making $17 million a year,
yeah,
be better.
Again, everybody has a bad day. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
Like, people get lit sometimes.
Yeah.
That's okay. But your message after the game shouldn't be, sometimes you don't get the breaks.
No.
Those aren't breaks. You got rocked. If that is all that's there, you're not good enough. But I don't think it is. He can be better than that. But I don't like the messaging that makes it seem like it's bad luck when it's rocket after rocket after rocket. I mean, 6 pitches hit at 100 miles an hour or more in just 2 2/3 innings is insane. That shouldn't happen in 7 innings or 8 innings, let alone 2 2/3. So I don't like the whole, well, I had a bad day. Bad breaks for me today. I don't like that. But that's not even the story, really, because the entire bullpen got blown out in all of these, even yesterday's first game.
Yeah.
That was a normal game until the 9th. It was 4-2, right?
Yeah, right.
Even then, you had to use, Palante went less than 5 innings. So you had to use 5 relievers in that game, and you end up losing it because your closer blows it. So now you're in today, your first game in Pittsburgh. Who's even available? I mean, Liberatore starting. He's not going to give you more than 5, maybe 6 if you're lucky.
Could be 3.
Who's available? I mean, Maton's available. Other than that, who knows? And they're not making a roster move, so it's going to be really interesting. And then you got Skeens tomorrow that you're facing.
Yeah.
And that doesn't have anything to do with your pitchers, but it has to do with you needing to pitch well, right?
As I texted you over the weekend, Skeens doesn't seem quite right to me.
I mean,
he's an amazing pitcher.
Oh, he shut the Yankees down.
Boy, doesn't seem right.
You mean he's weird?
Yeah.
I mean,
he ain't right.
He's a little obsessed. Actually, you know what? I got to think about this. I'm not sure he is going to pitch Tuesday because I think he pitched Saturday. So maybe he's on Wednesday. Either way,
We got to face it.
There's something. I mean, look. First of all, he's the size of a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like 6'6", 260 or something crazy like that. And he throws 102 miles an hour, and he's got 7 pitches
with movement.
And he can. One ball's going to run to the right, the other one's going to cut to the left, and he's got a slider, he's got a curveball. His best pitch is his splinker, which is a splitter sinker mix. That's like 96 miles an
hour. How about that kid that we faced yesterday? He was good.
Which one?
The one who made his debut, the second
Dobbins?
game.
Yeah, he's all right. He's talented. Yeah, he had good fastball, good breaking ball.
Like to have him.
I'm not sure. He's not really viewed as like a quote-unquote top prospect, but he's very gifted.
I'm going to say something, and maybe it's just emotion. At this point, if I were in charge, I would start any pitcher we have on the roster over Michaelis.
Well, I mean, I've been saying that for a year. I thought they should have moved on in the offseason, whether that meant eating the contract or not, because the numbers don't lie, right? Over the last 2 full seasons, Miles is one of the 4 worst in baseball in terms of earned run average of all the starters that have worked a certain number of innings. Basically, if you qualify for the ERA title, right, he's the 3rd or 4th worst ERA, and the other numbers match it, right? It's not like, again, not bad luck. You know, when you look at things like expected ERA and hard hit rate against, all that, he's been one of the worst starters in baseball the last 2 years, and it's on him to fix it. And it's on the team to realize when it can't happen anymore, right? I know the team worries about having coverage. You know, they don't want to go through 6 months and not have enough pitchers, or maybe wear out some young guys that aren't ready for heavy workloads, where Miles can go get you 180, 190, 200 innings. But if those innings are going to look like what the last 2 years have looked like, not just yesterday, like yesterday's one thing. That's an outlier, right? Nobody, that's not going to happen to him every time out. But if your ERA is going to be around 5, is it really that good to have the innings? Because how many games are you losing because of that? Now, again, it's, you're 4-5. Your big picture, it's not that big of a deal, right?
Although the next week is so important for the fans.
That's the key point.
We're on the precipice.
That's really, to me, like the biggest takeaway from the weekend. It's not really going to change your real future,
not
right?
Not real.
4-5 through 9 games is not the end of the world. In fact, if you had said, look at the first 9 games, you got Minnesota 3 times, you got Boston 3 times, and you got the Angels 3 times. I probably would have guessed 5-4 or 4-5. Like that's not crazy. That's not it. But that's a bad look when you're trying to convince people to come back out to the ballpark. Because what people saw this weekend was everything they saw the last 2 years magnified. So now the people that have been doubtful are more doubtful. And that's the real problem, right? It's not necessarily that you're out of any race. You're not. It's too early for that. You could easily, go on a run at any point and win 7 out of 10, and now you're 3 games over 500, and things can look good. But every setback has two parts to it. There's the impact on the standings, and then there's the impact on people that you're trying to convince to come to the ballpark. And those are 2 different battles that are happening at the same time. And this weekend was terrible for that second battle.
Sure. It gives people an excuse.
Right. It's like, okay, see, if I'm of the opinion that they have to show me, right? If I'm in that part of the fan base, you got to show me something to get me to come out. And I see that. You haven't convinced me. You've now made it so that I need even more from you if I'm in that position. That's a tough spot.
Isn't it weird, guys, that we may go down in history, not us, but that we were at the lowest attended game of all time?
Yeah, that's cool.
Could be. Yeah, I would hope that it doesn't get worse.
I would hope we keep
the record.
Yeah.
I would hope that it's not going to be worse as it goes
forward. The only way it could be worse if we hadn't gone.
But I think it's important to understand, like, the players, the manager, they can't do their thing based on what we're talking about.
Right.
That part of right. But it is something that at the highest levels of management, though, they have to see that and go, damn it. Like that's not going to help the cause when it looks like that. It's one thing to get beat. It's one thing to lose 2 or 3 games to Boston's good, man. Boston's a real contender. They're a real playoff team. They're legitimately good. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to tell the people that are already skeptical.
Yeah.
Hey guys, look out, because there could be more of this.
Hey guys, coming up at 2 p.m., we have a really interesting segment. It's the STL Canamoms, which sounds like the kind of demons you face when you open a box. But they are moms who are dedicated to their children and who openly and proudly use cannabis. I saw them on CNN. They did a really nice package on them on CNN, contacted them. They're going to be in live at 2 p.m. Lots of stuff on the show today. I have 3 days of laying on my back show prep here. So
Look at that.
Drink it in. I'm going all over the place.
Yeah.
This could be it. This could be the last show.
It just says butt hurts.
Dave's like, I'm out of ideas.
What's wrong with my back? Ow, ow.
Ouch, ouch, butt hurt.
Tell you guys about the Gelman team. And let me take this approach. I've taken it before, but it's because this is the message. If you have a difficult medical situation, thorny, complicated, you don't go to a first-year doctor. You go to the most experienced, best results doctor you can possibly find and afford. If it's a legal matter, I know this one personally, that if you have a very difficult, complicated, confusing legal matter, same thing. You don't go to a newbie. You don't go to your brother-in-law's golf buddy. You go to the best attorney that you can find and afford. It's a really weird time right now. We have stock markets melting down. We have Trump asking for the Fed to lower the interest rates. We don't know what's going to happen with that. It's a weird, strange real estate market. The best realtor, for my opinion, my money, and my money is where my mouth is, because I've used them 3 times when I could have used anybody, is the Gelman team. They have the best people. They have the biggest team. They have the best resources. They're master negotiators. Make them convince you, though. When you call them, it's not assumed that you're going to sign on the dotted line. Make them sell you on using them. You want to find out what your house is worth right now? Go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com. Call 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad. Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is being cared for by your local Lennox premier dealer, Scott Lee Heating. Special savings opportunities and federal tax credits are available. So call 314-756-9444 or visit online at scottleeheating.com.
1120 AM, 1041 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on 104.1 FM KMOX 122. I'm not even looking at the Dow.
Yeah, I don't. I
Probably a
don't.
solid plan, yeah.
Good for you. It's only going to make him mad.
He's terrifying the dogs. He's terrifying the cats. Oh.
The cats won't take that though.
No, they won't. Cats won't be terrified. Lucy wouldn't take that, would she?
Absolutely not.
What do you mean I get 25% less wet food?
Lucy would only do that if it was 100% in the best interests of the country. And
I
the
could see her
jury's-
cozying up to Trump.
Jury's still out on that.
I could see that.
I don't know.
She's pretty mercenary.
Cats will just wait till you're asleep and then they'll steal your soul.
Lucy's like, I want a new phone. I really don't want these tariffs going through.
A new phone.
So should you even be at work right now with your injury?
You know, I'm powering through, and I hope.
Good for
I
you.
just hope the higher ups notice.
It doesn't
You know,
go
I
unnoticed.
could have left. I could have went to the emergency room.
Sure.
I got a horrible paper cut.
How'd
as
it
I was
happen?
I was putting a paper into my work backpack, and I took my hand out of the backpack too quickly, and I.
Oh, got it.
It barely got me, but it's more the psychological harm.
Oh, yeah. It's
you know?
always worse.
Because that's one of my most feared things happening is getting a paper cut. And then
Yeah.
even if you get a little one, it's like, the emotional damage is just.
So when I was on the corn crew at
Mhm.
Lashes, you would fill up a wagon with corn. So it's heaping. So it's all packed really tightly in there. Then the sides of the wagon come down. Then you would have the burlap sacks like you'd use on the sack race. And you would reach in, grab 2 ears of corn, pull them out, put them in the bag. And every week or so, one would stick and you would just pull back and zzz, you'd get a corn cut. Corn cuts
A
are so
husk?
much worth a husk cut. Yeah.
How are they even sharp enough for that?
Oh, they are, my friend.
Oh my gosh.
Get all dried out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The wet ones are the worst, though.
I didn't know corn could hurt.
Said that
me.
for my whole life. Said that in Boy Scouts a lot.
I used to live near several cornfields, and I would go out there and like pick an ear of corn. The silk like hair that grows on the inside, I always liked that. But then
Mhm.
sometimes there would be worms in there, and that was terrifying and disgusting.
You had an interesting childhood.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yes.
We grew up very similarly.
Yeah.
Like I literally grew up across a giant field. I'm not great at it, but probably 100, 200 acres. And it would go from wheat, which was my favorite because it was pretty the way it would move with the wind. And I could make little, what are they called?
Crop circles.
Crop circles.
It was you.
I probably did do the first one. Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan was like, this kid's on to
Yeah.
something.
You were the inspiration.
Yeah,
We
the alien
had-
saw it and was like, he's sending a message.
In 76, so I would have been 12, we had our own Olympics and we fashioned a hammer, okay, like a big giant ball bearing on a chain, and no one would do it. So I did it and I hit my friend's grandma. And I just went running and I went into the wheat field, made a crop circle, and stayed until after dark.
How did you hit the grandma?
Just swinging it
hard.
Like, what was she doing there?
Snapping beans.
Oh.
She was just watching the Olympics.
She's just minding her business.
Minding her business.
Oh man.
Yeah, nailed it.
Snapping beans.
Yep, like green beans.
Oh, I see. Prepare. Yeah, I get you.
It's a euphemism.
Yeah. I was like,
No, it's
I thought you were
she
talking
was a
about
little
a.
loose.
No, I thought you were talking about a game or something.
There's
Like,
grandma snapping beans
like,
again.
this is some kind of country thing I'm not aware of.
Yeah, kind of.
I'm more of a city boy.
Yeah, you say snapping beans, you
Yeah.
know where you grew up.
Did you ever get out into the cornfield and go like, ah, man, I hope I remember my
Oh,
way
yeah.
back?
Oh yeah, because it was taller than you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always liked corn. They would either do corn or soybeans where I lived. And the beans were fine, but I always liked the corn. It was more fun. But every once in a while, you'd get out there and be like,
One
I
of
need
the-
to leave
one of the
like a breadcrumb trail or something.
Greatest things in my childhood. I had a Star Trek gun, and it shot little yellow BBs.
Okay.
Plastic rubber ones. And you had to buy those. And well, when you shoot them, you can't collect them again.
No.
Right. I figured out that soybeans were the same size.
Oh,
And so I had an unlimited.
you had an
ammo.
arsenal.
Yes.
Man,
Yeah.
I have literally never been in a field of like wheat or corn or anything like that. I've been in like a flat little field, like like a field, but
Yeah.
never been in a.
You never
Oh,
been in like
man.
a
I've
corn
never
maze?
been in a crop.
You don't
You
know.
ever-
You don't know the painful joy of running across a soybean field, getting cut up when someo's chasing you.
No, do not know that field.
You've never done a corn maze, Kevin?
No.
There are people on Earth that haven't done corn mazes.
Yep, never once.
Well, you're making up for all the people who haven't done them.
For real,
Yeah.
I thought this was like a universal experience.
Is that all you did?
Yeah.
I have done apparently more corn mazes than most.
Yeah, there was one
3
of
or 4 a
those
year.
near like this big haunted house that we used to go to not far from where I lived, and we'd go there. Do you want to do the maze? I'm like, nah, let's just go to the haunted house.
Were you scared?
Of the
He was-
maze?
Yeah.
No, I just felt like
he
you're
was
going to wander
scared.
around until you walk to the end.
He was scared.
I don't think Kevin Wheeler was scared of the corn.
Yeah.
He was terrified.
I'm one of the children of the corn. What are you talking about?
Tell you guys about my buddy, Dr. Corey Solman. Just had someone here at work, one of my coworkers, who was having a knee problem. And I told her, you got to go to Solman. He's the best. I called, greased the wheels, got her in. She's doing a, what's it called? Arthroscopic thing to check it all out and clean it all out and stuff. She just raved and raved about him, how nice he was. So I guess I'm just using that as an illustration to show that I'm not lying all the time when I talk about how great Corey is, his bedside manner, whether it's you, an adult, it's your kids who maybe tore something playing soccer or, kick the can or whatever, or an elderly loved one who may need a hip replacement or a knee replacement. No one's going to be better in the operating room, and no one's going to come close to him in the consultation room. He's going to make everyone feel comfortable with what's going on, and if he can avoid surgery, he will. He's out in Chesterfield now. You can call him at 636-231-5881 or SolmanOrthopedics.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Mark Scores.
And I'm Chris Ranji. Look, we get it. The world seems insane right now. You're not alone.
Ranj and I are on different sides of the political spectrum, but we don't always talk politics anyway.
Yeah, we talk about what's going on in the world. We'll talk about the Cardinals and sports and TV and movies and whatever.
Life is more than politics. It's family and friends. And Chris and I were friends before this show. We're there for each other. We want to be here for you too.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It's time for Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
The northwest flow has shut down the rain, but it has brought in a pretty good cool air mass. Lots of sunshine going through our afternoon. 59, that's it for the highs. Also, still a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clear, cold, a light frost and a light freeze developing towards morning. 29-30 for the overnight low, but away from the urban environment, temperatures will get down to about 27, 28 degrees, and some will see a hard freeze. On Tuesday, sunny. It's just a cool day from start to finish. 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in. Some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late Wednesday afternoon and especially Wednesday night. High on Wednesday, 65. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Guys, if you're looking for that golf course quality lawn and you're like me, you want that, and you definitely know that you can get that, but you don't want to do the work. You don't want to learn what it takes. You don't want to spend the time and go buy the little seed spreader and spread the fertilizer. I don't want to do any of that. I don't need to because I have True Green. They're the experts. It's easier and more affordable than you think, and you can have the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour working for you to get your lawn looking like a fairway. They bring pro-level expertise right to your yard. They do everything they can to make sure that you're happy. So if you ever, between visits, like some weeds popped up here or there, they'll come out and fix it. But the one thing they're going to do more than anything is they're going to make sure you're going to get the best deal at True Green. Their price match guarantee means they will match any price around. And right now, you can get 75% off your first treatment if you go to truegreen.com and get your treatments set up. So again, 75% off right now, and then you get to sit back and do what I do, which is let the pros do the work while you enjoy the results.
Community America Credit Union has a new branch in Hazelwood. Join me, Amy Markscores, Special Cardinals alumni, and Fred Bird on April 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the grand opening. There'll be exciting prizes and delicious food. See you there.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates,
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. It really makes a difference, the weather, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Today's beautiful and crisp. I'm not ready for the hot. I'm not ready for 85.
I'm always ready for 85.
Don't want it.
95, I'm not ready for.
I wouldn't think you'd like it hot, being a ginger.
I'm not a huge fan of direct sunlight, which is why I have to have sunscreen all the time.
Yeah.
But no, I prefer it because I've spent my whole life in it. I'm being a baseball guy, you're out in that warmth and that heat all the time.
So as you were speaking, I was thinking we should all go to a pool together, and then you and Rach could just sit under a veranda or whatever.
Yeah, I'll just wear my long sleeve sun shirt into the pool.
And it reminded
they call
me
that a rash guard.
Yeah.
It reminded me of when Nick was about 3. He and I were at the pool, and we were walking into the water, and I said something to the effect, I said, oh, the sun's beating down. That's tough on a bald man. And he goes, you're not bald, Daddy. You're balding. And this is when I was still fighting it. And I was like, go.
That's great.
To the heart.
Kids always get it, man.
You're on the road.
So I heard a great story over the weekend. You know how families have feuds and some people won't speak for several years. There were 2 brothers, and I'll tell you off the air who it was. I got permission to tell the story, but not to identify the source. 2 brothers who didn't speak for 30 years and died having never reconciled because at Thanksgiving, they got into a fight over whether Abraham Lincoln was gay or not. And they never spoke again for 30 years in an otherwise super tight, close family.
That does it?
That did it.
So I'm assuming one thought he was gay and the other felt that was very disrespectful.
Yes.
To his memory.
I mean, he gay. Let's,
Mm-hmm.
let's just be real.
We've all heard the segment.
How could that
We've all heard the segment.
How could that matter enough to drive a wedge between family members? Like, what in that matters?
Right.
Yeah, it's almost like you're working out some other stuff whenever the catalyst is.
You got to think it wasn't
gay
the
thing.
only issue. You got to think that there was maybe something else bubbling under the surface.
Had to be, right? Like
You'd
one never got over the other one stealing his toy when they were 10 or something.
You know, something else, speaking of the past, I've told my Six Flags story so many times about the bullwhip and the invisible dog. You know what I realized over the weekend, which is interesting to me and a bit narcissistic, although I was a kid. I never once, in all of the years since, and telling those stories, I've never once thought about what kind of time my mom and dad had at Six Flags. Like, I can't picture Jack and Francis at Six Flags. I can't. In fact, I had to really, really think, were they there? Did I go with Eddie O'Neill's family? What the hell did they do for 8 hours? They're not riding rides. they wouldn't spend money on the food. We had to go back in the parking lot and have wet bologna sandwiches when all I wanted was one of those ice cream cones, like the old fashioned kind that we invented in 1904. And yeah, isn't that interesting? I'm just trying to picture my mom and dad in 1976 spending time at Six Flags.
They drove you all the way out there. That's not a easy drive from South
that's not a small undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Must have felt like a road trip.
Oh,
when you're a kid, like
Goodness.
anything more than 10 minutes feels like a road trip.
it was like a wagon train.
Yeah.
It took 3 days. You had to stop and spend the night, set up camps.
My dad used to take us to Six Flags. He would take me and my brother and our cousins, and he would just post up at Hurricane Harbor for the whole time. And I would always be like, man,
I
poor
can
dad.
see Mo doing that.
Yeah, I was always like, poor dad. It seems so boring. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, that is absolutely the
awesome.
move.
The move,
Is
yeah.
just go sit by the pool all day.
You know, another thing I thought about, and if you're online, let me know if you remember this. You'll have to be my age or older to remember it. But do any of you remember when the brights switch on your car for headlights was on the floorboard?
Yes.
It was on the left-hand side. It was
Yeah.
about the size of half of a prescription bottle, and you just click it with your foot. Click,
Yeah.
click, click, click.
For the
I don't know
brights
that
on
I
your
ever.
headlights?
I
For
don't.
the brights on your headlights.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
I
cool.
ever.
Why would they have
had-
changed that?
I don't think I ever had a car like that, but I remember it. I remember seeing it.
Oh, I did. My 71 Dodge Dart did.
There you go.
It was cool. And with my OCD, I was just constantly click, 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 click.
Seems easier to forget that your brights are on in that situation.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's all I had for the day.
There you go.
Grandpa's old truck had it. Thanks, Corey.
Yeah.
I say things like, you got to be old, remember this. And someone goes like, my grandpa did. I'm like, F you.
Well, thanks a lot.
Immediately, you're like, you don't have to say grandpa.
Bald, you're
Shut up,
balding.
Corey.
You don't have to say grandpa.
He just gave you the Nick treatment.
Yeah.
Block Corey.
Yeah, people on the stream, if ever you want to say grandpa, change it to son.
Yeah.
My son's car has that. Perfect.
Or say like my I don't know.
My car has that, and I'm 13.
Right,
Perfect. Thank you.
Now, we've talked about the past. Let's talk about the future. Look at me. Content king, right? I just got nothing but content today.
Nothing but a content and a sore back.
Have you heard of bodyoids?
What?
Bodyoids.
Yes.
Have you?
Well, now I'm doubting it. Now that no one else has.
Evidently, there's supposed to be a real thing in the future that it would be creating humans in test tubes, I guess, but you only let the brain stem grow so far so that they have no consciousness and no pain, and you just use them to harvest body parts and do tests on. And it's something that scientists and doctors are literally talking about for real doing. And they know it won't happen in the next 5 or 10 years, but they think it's going to happen. They're preparing for it to happen, and they're called bodyoids.
This is something that science in general and medicine has been talking about as a possibility for like many years. I mean, there are sci-fi stories going back to like the 50s about this, about just the idea of like, what if to help, and there's a ton of like books about, I think, Never Let Me Go, the movie is about this, and book, about basically what if you could have a clone of you or something like that has all of your DNA, you're compatible with all of their organs that way. There's no worry that like, oh, the kidneys, it's rejecting the kidney because it's technically your kidney. And you could just have that on standby. So if you needed a replacement kidney, a replacement heart, or replacement eyes, whatever, well, you had a place you could go and get that, and nobody would have to,
And no one's suffering.
Yeah, nobody would have to sacrifice their kidney so that you could have a kidney. There's no risk of, rejection and immune issues.
How's that hit you?
I mean,
Is there any room at all in your mind for it?
I mean, there's some room to consider it. I would have
What
to
a monster.
know more about it. I mean, if it's just their brainstem isn't grown and they can't feel pain and they have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
It just, though, feels like a recipe for disaster with also like the rise of AI. Like, what if someone, okay, now it is sounding like a sci-fi movie, but what if someone's able to get a hold of these things and then it's like, oh, we'll just put artificial intelligence in them.
Yeah, Paul said, and then they come alive
Yeah.
and hunt you down.
Yeah. We'd have a major, I think, just general morality thing to get over, right? Because there are going to be a lot of people that are not okay with that.
Yeah.
I always thought the new wave on that was going to be 3D printing. That they were talking about the ability at some
Which,
point,
by the way,
to 3D print
is completely
organs.
made up. That doesn't happen. 3D still to this
It's
day.
crazy,
It's been out
isn't
there
it?
for like 10 years
Yeah.
now, and it's still just like no.
Yeah, they do it.
Now they're 3D printing houses.
Yeah,
crazy.
Obviously, either a really big printer or a
Huge
lot of
printer.
or they're just putting pieces together, one or the other.
Scott said your parents may have gone to Miss Kitty's Saloon or the Chevy Show. I doubt it.
Wait, are
You
those
can't
Six
picture
Flags
them?
things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can't picture them in Miss Kitty's saloon.
No,
I mean,
I
like,
can't. No, I
sounded
can't.
like a different thing.
I don't think my
Dancing on
dad
the
went to
table.
Miss Kitty's Saloon much, though.
Brian is saying the movie about that is called The Island.
Yeah, that's Ewan McGregor and was that
But
Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
But
Feel
there's
like
also Andrew's right. There's also a movie Never Let Me Go with Keira Knightley,
Mhm.
Andrew Garfield.
And a book. The book is even better. Never Let Me
Yeah.
Go. Wonderful book.
That takes reading.
Kazuo Ishiguro.
I've read the book too.
Yeah,
Braggers.
he's
It's a great
really.
book, isn't it?
Just want to
You
throw
guys
it
are
out there.
braggers.
Never thrown out that we've
really
read
spiking
books.
the ball.
It's a good book.
Braggers.
Look, I've started reading again, and
Can I be honest
really
with you guys?
bragging about it.
Today's a Sweet 16, and I wanted to do best movie adapted from the book, but I thought you guys would struggle.
Yeah, you said that in the text, and I was like,
I thought that too. I was like, I know now. Kevin, of course, just passing it down the line, throwing Kevin under the bus.
Hey, I used to read books.
But but the thing is, to know that you don't have to have read the book.
True.
You just have to know what movie is based on a book.
I think I've only seen, I read Jaws and I read The Stand, and I can't think of any other movie. Look at me. I'm the one going like, these idiots wouldn't even know
they
what it
wouldn't even
was.
be able to comprehend.
Well,
what
I mean,
I'm
I read
talking
like
about.
Jurassic Park.
I didn't know
and-
Jaws was a book.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I read Jurassic Park and then all of the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and all those.
Oh, yeah. I guess I have seen Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings. Oh, I didn't read it, though. So,
Oh, well.
yeah.
You know.
You read
You
Jurassic
kidding
Park?
me? It's like
I did.
1,000 pages.
It was
Is
a
it
long
good?
time ago. It was back in the reedy times.
Is it a good book?
Crichton.
Yeah, dude, it's like a legendary. It's one of the greats.
Is the Jaws book good?
You did.
I didn't read that one.
Yeah, who wrote Jaws? Do we know?
Did Jaws come?
Peter
bef-
Benchley.
Did Jaws come before or after the movie?
Oh, way before.
Way before.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also read Star Wars. My most ready time was the summer when I was like 13.
Yeah. Now those came after the movies.
Yeah. The
did they?
novelization.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this, and this is for all the audience out there. The novelization of the third Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith, is for some reason it goes so hard. It's like one of the best books I've ever read.
Really?
It goes unbelievably hard.
In my reedy times, I'm probably read 20 plus Star Wars books that are all different.
Stop saying in my reedy time.
Yeah, because it's been a long time. But like these stories that are just they're involving like Han and Leia have like 2 or 3 kids, and
The twins,
Luke
yes.
is married or not married, but he loves this lady, Mara Jade, I think it was.
Mhm.
Like these stories go like crazy, and I read all those.
I
None
think,
of them are
I think
movies,
Mara
though.
Jade is Leia's daughter.
No,
Yes.
no,
He loved his
no.
niece.
Yeah, there's no way.
Her last name is Skywalker.
No, you're wrong.
Oh, this is gonna hold on.
You're gonna go
Well,
Google it.
we do have
You're
to
wrong.
figure
Yeah.
this out, Dave. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll do
Hang
it
on.
live.
Yeah, do that. We'll figure it out during the break.
Hopefully you guys can tell just from the timbre of my voice how much I love Dr. Kathy Maupin and how much I believe in what they do. I don't think I'm a particularly handsome man, but I think my skin looks pretty good for 60. And I think a big part of that is BioBalance Skin and the microneedling and chemical peels and things like that I get on a fairly pretty often basis. You know, once a quarter I'm in there doing something. They have this new treatment, which I have not had yet. It's some sort of a laser called Moxie. And for people who have dark spots and sunspots, which I had terribly just about 5 years ago, and I got rid of most of it through the aforementioned lasering and chemical peels and such. Evidently, Moxie is much, much better and much faster. Right next door is BioBalance Health, where they do the pellets, which I've been getting and Trish has been getting for about 6 years now. Zero complaints. Everything is much, much better. Brings your testosterone back to a healthy level so that you can live your life as fully as possible. That's BioBalanceHealth.com.
Are you ready to rock? Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace are coming to Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale, Missouri on August 29th, and we have your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the show. Register now at KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win. It's that simple. You won't want to miss this. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
St. Louis, your Battlehawks are back at home this Sunday, April 13th to take on the DC Defenders. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com and dress for the Blue Masquerade, the St. Louis Battlehawks, this Sunday, April 13th. All tickets available at UFLBattlehawks.com.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 20% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, Don Nix Treasurer.
It's your money. $1 billion budget each year at City Hall. Darlene Green is the seat at the table for our community. Darlene Green manages our tax dollars with a steady hand. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller. Respected, trusted, our voice for the community. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller because it's your money.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
$150 DGS 1041 FM KMOX. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the FM signal. Let us know. I think it sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty
so much
phenomenal.
better. Baseball's so improved. Although it's weird because I'm a little bit nostalgic for that crappy AM signal when it comes to baseball because that's what I listened to my whole life. But it's so much bigger and fuller and beefier. So
Well, the good thing is it's still there if you ever want to hear it.
It's true. If you ever want to take a walk down memory lane. Rach, we live in a very mustachy time. Have you clocked this with the boys out there?
Oh, yes, I have.
And here's the thing. 1 out of 10 can pull off a mustache. Like I have a normal chin. I don't have a weak chin. I don't have a big Gaston chin, but I think to work a mustache, you have to have a Gaston chin.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty pro mustache. I think
Are ya?
most guys that I've seen with a mustache look pretty good with it.
Well, like Big Dave Zimmerman looks good, but
Yeah.
he's a Gaston.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think they look nice. Like
You
most of
you
the
can't
time.
think he's attractive because he's your brother, much like a Skywalker.
Right.
Did you win?
Right. I won the Nerd War.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, Mara Jade was eventually named Skywalker because she married Luke.
Turns out the guy who actually read the book knows the story.
I mean, it was a long time ago, and there haven't been many since, but I read all those.
During his reedy times.
Yeah, my reedy times.
You didn't read that book?
I did not read that book. No,
Okay.
I haven't read any.
Oh, there's lots of those
I
books.
guess if you had, you would have spiked it on us a few times, like you
Yeah,
did.
right.
No,
I
would've
read that book.
Incredible book.
Incredible book.
Wonderful
Way better than the movie.
You would already know from years ago. I would bring it up all the time.
Andrew, you should work a mustache.
Should I?
Yeah, you just shaved.
I just shaved, and I was looking at the mustache thing, and it just
Did you take it down to just a mustache?
Yeah, I always do, and then I dare to dream for a few minutes. It really looks like Freddie Mercury.
Take it,
but not in like
the
a
reason to do
flattering,
it.
not in like a flattering way. Like
take it for a ride, a mustache ride.
Don't say that.
it just looks like
You have a nice full beard.
if Freddie Mercury like had some cheeseburgers instead of
If he bought a Sizzler
going on tour. Yeah.
No, a lot of like baseball players just will have mustaches.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Big
like
They're
they
very in right
stepped
now.
straight out of the 90s, like with because everyone has the like long hair and the mustache. And it's very reminiscent of when I was a kid.
Yeah, it always keeps coming
It
and
was like
going.
Joe Dirt.
That was the 70s, right? 70s was all about the stash. The stash and the wavy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that in with baseball players especially?
I don't know. Right now. I never follow it. Because there was a while there where everybody had the crew cut and short hair and whatever. I don't know.
Did you ever have just a mustache back in your reading time?
No.
The reading time.
Never had a
Well, you lived
mustache.
in Miami in the
90s. Nobody had
90s.
mustaches. Everybody had
No.
the 5 o'clock shadow.
Okay.
The only time in the last 25 years that I haven't had facial, when I haven't had my goatee, I shaved it down to a mustache and a soul patch.
Oh,
that's in the Museum of Bad Dave Decisions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't it amazing how just a little change, changes the entire look?
You ever seen those videos on TikTok where a man will shave for the first time and his kids have never seen it?
Yeah,
and
that
they're
happened.
afraid of him.
That happened to me. My dad had a mustache our whole lives. We were little kids, and I don't remember when it was. Maybe I was 9 or something. My brother wouldn't go near him.
Yeah.
My brother was 6 years old. He's like, "You're not my dad. I'm not going near you."
I'm in my 30s, and if my dad got rid of all of his facial hair, I'd be like, I'm scared.
I'm not even kidding. That absolutely happened. He would not go near my dad. He's like,
That's
"Nope,
funny.
that's not my dad.
That's not my dad.
You are not my dad."
Oh, did you see that AI has discovered after all this time that fingerprints are not unique?
What?
Throws
Next, they're going to tell us that the snowflakes aren't all unique either.
throws the whole thing out the window.
So wait a minute.
If AI is correct,
It does help explain though why all those innocent people go to jail.
No, that's not why.
well, I think it would be a bigger coincidence
Yeah, that he had 2 that were the same. Yeah,
that two people had the same.
yeah.
Okay.
That would be pretty remarkable.
Yeah. But evidently it's possible.
Yeah.
So, also, did you see the Romanian dragon skull?
Yeah, it's a dinosaur.
Damn it.
I mean, come on. Like,
Damn it.
Isn't it much more logical to think that, all of the legends
No.
of dragons came from people finding dinosaur heads and not knowing what they were?
Great
Like,
point.
that is a monster. Oh my God.
I never
they
really
were
thought about
dragon.
that.
Or they were big flying lizards, and people were
Yeah,
like, "Wow,
those
look at
guys. Yeah, those guys. Those, yeah.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game, it's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Game tickets? Check.
A round of cold beers? Check.
Ballpark hot dogs? Check.
Baseball is back and nothing beats a night out with the guys.
Or ladies.
At a Cardinals game.
From thrilling games and mouthwatering eats to the iconic ballpark energy, Busch Stadium is the ultimate spot for you and your crew to dive into America's favorite pastime.
Make your next night out the best one yet. Join us at Busch Stadium, where every hour is happy.
For tickets, visit Cardinals.com.
St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet, 25 years together. I'm not sure that anyone has ever beat that. Having a client running that long, that successfully. It's all about Mike. It's not about me. All I do is deliver the message. Mike is just a cool guy. He really is. Super into rock and roll, super into Kiss. I met Ace Frehley with him one time. He's a good dude. I remember when I first met him and he said, look, here's the deal. I wasn't going to be a doctor. I wasn't going to be a lawyer. I wanted to go into a business that was simple. And he said, Dave, the flooring business is simple. I buy it at this much. I mark it up. I sell it to you at that much. There's, this many major lines. There are this many, lines within them, the budget, the entry, the middle, the high end. And it's not that difficult. So I don't make it difficult on people. I make it really, really simple. So if you like simple, if you like saving money, if you like getting good products, you can't do better than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Find him at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. I've been asked many times how Morgan & Morgan became the largest injury firm in the world. I think I know. When someone comes to us for an on-the-job injury, we have a huge workers' compensation practice. But many times we find a defective product that was responsible for that injury. Luckily for them, we have a product liability section headed by my son, Mike. In addition to the comp case, there is a product case too. Other times, the injured worker is fired or harassed for bringing that claim. We have them covered. Our employment lawyers handle retaliation claims as well as wage theft and discrimination cases, and in some cases need to file for Social Security benefits. No problem. We became big for a reason. 30% of our new cases come as referrals from former clients. Hiring us is easy. Go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer, or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It is 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. A new set of woes from this weekend for those still trying to recover from the March 14th storms.
Some of the hardest hit areas by this past weekend's rain are North City, North County, St. Charles, St. Peters, Wentzville, some parts of South County, and in the Metro East, O'Fallon, Collinsville, Edwardsville, and Glen Carbon. Wendy Melrose is with the flood team.
They've had anywhere from sewer backups to foundation issues, seepage. And unfortunately, if things come through the foundations, it's not going to be covered by insurance. And so then they end up being in a pickle financially. We're trying to navigate them to structural engineers.
Melrose says, know the company you're dealing with. Anyone can make a website, check Google reviews, and ask friends who they have used, and try to stay local. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Some small business owners say they're struggling to manage the effects of new tariffs that will steeply increase their costs.
The founder of the botanical skincare brand Blissoma, Julie Longyear, is trying to calculate how much President Trump's tariffs will cost her.
I would estimate that probably 50% of our ingredients, our raw materials, may come from overseas.
That means at least 20% tariffs and as high as almost 80% for her packaging from China, which took her a year and a half to pick and design.
By the time the tariffs were announced, there was no opportunity to change because we had already made our commitments and done all the designs.
She's hoping lower tariffs will be negotiated very soon. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meets President Trump in Washington, becoming the first foreign leader to visit him since he unleashed those tariffs. Former CBS News correspondent and podcast host Dan Raviv.
They don't know why Trump wanted to have the meeting now. Is something up with Iran? Does Trump have some new idea for ending the Gaza war, for getting some of the hostages released by Hamas in Gaza? Frankly, the Israelis don't know, so they put their focus On the economic side, on the tariffs issue, they're so surprised that President Trump slapped a 17% tariff last week on all goods coming from Israel. And so I know Netanyahu will argue against that.
Tonight for the men's college basketball title, it's Houston versus Florida.
The University of Florida is gunning for its third NCAA basketball title. The school won back-to-back in 2006 and 2007. Coach Todd Golden knows the game is going to be tough.
Houston is an amazing team, and they deserve this opportunity. Obviously, they're going to have some great momentum, and for us, it allows us to add another, chip on our shoulder and, try to prove, that we belong.
Both teams sport 35-4 records. Houston's never taken the title. The Cougars upended Duke in the final seconds to make the championship game. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
The KMOX Business Desk, several members of Missouri's congressional delegation, including U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, are asking for an audit of mail operations in the St. Louis area.
We've done one on the western side of the state in the Kansas City region. Now I want one for the eastern side of the state. I want to know why in the world people's mail is not getting to them. And frankly, all I've gotten for 2 years now is excuses from the Postal Service leadership. Workers are doing a great job, but the leadership has been, frankly, a disaster.
Missouri Net is reporting that if approved, the audit would examine all post offices and distribution centers in St. Louis County, and St. Charles County. The Dow from Stifel's down 360 points to 37,953. We've got some road work on 70 East at 270. That's got the right lane closed. And the flooding, 141 South at 44, the right lane, and the exit ramp 44 West at 141, flooded out.
The northwest flow has shut down the rain, but it has brought in a pretty good cool air mass. Lots of sunshine going through our afternoon. 59, that's it for the highs. Also, still a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clear, cold, a light frost and a light freeze developing towards morning. 29-30 for the overnight low, but away from the urban environment, temperatures will get down to about 27, 28 degrees, and some will see a hard freeze. On Tuesday, sunny. It's just a cool day from start to finish. 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in. Some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late Wednesday afternoon and especially Wednesday night. High on Wednesday, 65. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got sunshine at the moment. It's 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up! RENNER.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Happy Monday to you. Gorgeous day out there. So the other day, I'm watching CNN, and I see this story about STL Canna Moms, and I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, how did I not know about this? And this is so cool. And we have Kimberly and Jessica here, the founders of it. It's basically, and ladies, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but moms who openly and proudly consume cannabis and spread the word and have events. And I will say, I've alluded to it before, I don't smoke because I don't like smoking. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. It grossed me out as a kid. I just don't enjoy it. But I found gummies a few years ago, and everyone in the audience knows I have terrible anxiety. And it was the first thing, including medication, that really, really helped, really took the edge off. And I wish my mom passed away last year, and she had anxiety too. I wish I could have introduced that to her. I think she would have embraced it. So nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in, and tell us all about it.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
And I think you did a really good job summing up what STL Canna Moms is. Outside of the fact that not only are we moms that consume cannabis, but we are a community of moms that are constantly going above and beyond to help one another, whether it's a hot meal, help with a new job interview, you're leaving a domestic abuse situation, you're getting it back on your feet. our community is just a really beautiful thing. And
So it's what brings you together, but then you're just a really tight knit community after that. That's cool.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Takes the hard question out in motherhood. I know her biggest thing with having a preteen was the whole kids coming over and hanging out and being worried about another kid coming over and being like, it smells like, cannabis or weed there. And then the parent finding out and automatically meaning her children can't spend time with that kid. So if you have a group where everyone smokes weed, that takes away that awkward question, and you already know it's vetted in that way.
Did you guys go through a period in your motherhood where you hit it?
Oh yeah, I felt like I didn't really have anyone, and I mean that's basically why we started the group. Me and Kim are very, very awkward and antisocial.
Sure, welcome to the club.
So we figured we might as well start something and maybe make some friends, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. A whole bunch of friends.
So make your case. Why do you enjoy it? Why do you think it's a positive thing?
I just think it takes the edge off of those hard days. I'm somebody that struggles with anxiety as well. I got late diagnosed at 31, ADHD. Just found out I'm a little spicy and on the spectrum when it comes to autism too.
Explains a lot of things, doesn't it?
It really does. It started with my daughter, and then I was doing research on that because information dump. Hello. But I'm like, wait a second, this sounds like it's me. So I went and did my own testing, and so it's opened up a lot of things, explaining why I do certain things the way that I do. And cannabis has just been a tool to keep me off of pharmaceuticals. I'm really big on trying the natural way, rather it's switching up your diet, adding vitamins or minerals, whatever the things your body may be lacking to kind of make those symptoms, if you will, a little harder. And so, cannabis has just been more of an organic way for me to find some relief.
Yeah. What sort of advice do you have for anyone, but especially ladies who join your club, who may say, I'm a newbie. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what a gummy is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what a 30 milligram means. Like, how do you advise them on dipping their toe?
That is what sets us apart, I think, from any other cannabis group that may be out there, is that we are backed by education. Kim and I both came back together in our lifetime at Feel State Dispensary, and they are very big on the education aspect. So we kind of took what we learned from there and brought that into our space. So we are very big on education at events. We take time to explain to everyone, okay, this is a gummy, or this is a concentrate, this is a cartridge, you can do this with this. But the biggest thing is always low and slow when it comes to cannabis, because you are guinea pigging yourself. Nobody's endocannabinoid system is the same. So what works for me does not work for Kim, and vice versa. So I think having the proper education at our events really does help. And explaining the science behind it as well.
And it's blowing up, right? I mean, it's really getting big for you guys.
It is. It is. And honestly, it was just supposed to be a fun little Facebook group. When that Facebook group hit like 100 members, and it was mostly just people we went to high school.
Yes, it was a North County reunion.
It was. St. Louis, where'd you go to high school at? So it was one of those, and we did our first event, and the moms loved it. We literally only had 20 pre-rolls, so we didn't have
we
much.
Had 25 tickets sold, and I think we maybe had 25 packages of pre-rolls, meaning there would be 2 half grams in each, and we made it shake with that.
We did.
They were begging for more.
Yes. And so, I mean, after that event, they were like, when's the next one? And it just kind of trickled down to a monthly thing. Now we have almost 5K in our private Facebook group.
Events was never the play.
It wasn't.
I traumatized myself after my child's first birthday with trying to make everything perfect event-wise. Ended up getting so drunk that I made not a good look for myself. Yes, I wasn't sure if I could cuss, so because I'm a little bit of a sailor. So I told her from the jump, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. This makes my armpits sweat. But we're working on getting out of our comfort zone, and stretching and becoming big girls, if you will. So
Yeah, and like for me, I am a nervous Nelly. I don't like. You should have seen me in the car on the way here. I was like, I'm gonna fucking throw up.
She
right now.
almost
I'm
did.
sorry.
Yeah, we can't-
Nope, she did.
Can't say that one.
I'm so sorry. You gave me free range, and I was like, all right,
She's running with it.
boom, let's go. Anyways, but yes, I was a hot mess on my way here, and yeah, it just.
Rach?
Let's talk a little bit about the stigma, because even though cannabis is legalized here in Missouri, I do still think people are afraid to talk about it. They're afraid to come out and say they do it. Whereas on the other side, the whole like wine mom idea is so accepted in our society. Why do you think that is?
Yeah.
And how do you kind of combat that if you ever bump up against that stigma?
I've never understood the whole negativity when it comes to cannabis. Actually, this morning I caught myself being a little judgmental. One of the moms on my Facebook had posted, she had, their Girl Scout weekend away. All the kids were staying overnight in one place and all the kids were asleep. And then there was a photo of all of them. Mom's drinking while the kids are asleep. And I was like, oh, no. But then I'm like, oh, hold on. That's how people judge me because I choose a joint. So I've never really understood that. And that's kind of why we talk about it as much as we do. I'm always been an advocate for mental health, for cannabis use, all those things, but I beat to a different drum. I like to stir things up.
Kevin, any thoughts?
No, what Rachel brought up is always the one that I come back to. Is I just find I'm always fascinated by how we decide what's okay and what's not okay. And obviously, we're pretty consistent in history, right? The newest thing is not okay, and then later, because eventually it'll be something else that's not okay, and this will be accepted just like booze is or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just fascinated by that, and I just don't understand why we don't understand.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think that's why we try to keep our group very exclusive. Like, we're not going to talk about religion in there. We're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about if you're a crunchy mom that doesn't feed your kid GMOs, or you give your kid an iPad all day, or you give your kid McDonald's. We're not talking about that. We have one thing in common, and that's cannabis. And it's so hard being a mom, and you're constantly getting judged on if you're doing the right thing, or if you're not doing the right thing. You should be doing this, you should be doing that. In our group, it's just, hey, we all like to smoke weed. Let's show up for each other and be there for each other, and understand that nobody's journey through motherhood is the same. And yes, we've all been through similar things. So why not show up for each other and just be there for each other?
And
just
while
be nice.
Events didn't start out as your purpose, but it's become very popular, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And you have a couple coming up. What do you have?
So we have our first Mother's Day, or it's not Mother's Day. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Rewind. We are doing an adult Easter egg hunt for the moms.
You're not going to find a single egg. You're going to come back with like a bucket full of rocks and beans.
I know.
If you really want to mess with people, don't put any out there.
There you go.
Listen, that's a good
That's a
idea.
great idea.
We had one mom that was like, put it in the dark and don't give them any flashlights. Make them fight for it. Battle Royale of the Easter eggs. But yeah, so that's our first thing. I am anticipating having about 500 eggs. We have, I think, 4, maybe 5 cannabis brands in Missouri. Some of the top brands in Missouri, might I say. We're very fortunate to work with such popular brands in the industry.
Yes.
So
And then after the Easter egg hunt, we have 2 golf tournaments on the books at Eagle Springs and Spanish Lake, and those will be open to anyone and everyone. So if cannabis is up your alley, find us.
And picture this. A lot of people, they go to the golf course and they drink, right? No, we're passing out THC infused drinks, edibles, joints, all of the things. We're just not going to do drinking.
Nope.
So we're trying to show people another way of being able to enjoy yourself outside of
consuming cannabis responsibly throughout the day.
And I asked if you guys had taken a lot of crap, and you said not really. Like so far, a couple of mean comments, but pretty much positive.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I stay out of the comments just because I don't care. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. But she has checked the comments after.
Of course she did.
After a few of our interviews.
Social media.
Yeah, I'm so anti-social media. So we've been welcomed with such open arms, which is not always what most women in cannabis can say. So I think Kim and I might be the exception and have been really fortunate.
I did have a lady tell me that my children should be taken away.
Sure.
I kind of want to get her email printed out on a t-shirt.
I want to send her a
I just
potato.
feel like it looks nice and send her a
I want to
potato.
send her a potato.
Yes.
So where do people find you?
STLCanamoms.com. We have a private and public Facebook group, STL Canamoms, as well. Our Instagram's a little more tricky because Meta hates cannabis for whatever reason. But it's STL Canamoms, but there is 2 periods, STL Can and then .NA.moms.
Very good. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice.
Thanks
to
for
meet you.
having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
I'm Jenna Fisher. And I'm Angela Kinsey. And together we have the podcast Office Ladies. Just because we finished rewatching The Office does not mean we're going anywhere. Every Wednesday, we'll be sharing even more exclusive stories from The Office and our friendship with brand new guests. Plus, you can revisit all the Office Ladies rewatch episodes every Monday with new bonus tidbits before every episode. So follow and listen to Office Ladies on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code FAST. Swishradio.com, code FAST.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hop into spring with Lombardo Homes. They're having a citywide Easter scavenger hunt this Saturday, April 12th, from noon to 4 p.m. at any Lombardo display home in St. Charles and mid-Missouri. So you want to go, you want to start your hunt, search for hidden items, and earn entries for a grand prize, which is $1,000 in Visa gift cards. Plus, you can snap a selfie with the Easter Bunny at Cottleville Trails from 1 to 4. Dogs are welcome too, so don't miss golden eggs, bonus prizes, and a whole lot of festive fun. Find your starting point at lombardohomes.com and let the Easter egg hunt begin.
Don't get confused with that in the Canamoms. You'll have a very different experience. You will buy a home. I can vouch for the guys at Lombardo. They build not just great, solid homes, but I think Rach would agree, because we did a remote one time where there were like 4 different builders who went in all the homes. They're all beautiful, but there's something about a Lombardo home. They're just different. The way they use space, it makes a 2,500 square foot home seem like a 3,500 square foot home. And I know them personally, and they're good people. They call the close ones against themselves. Find them at lombardohomes.com.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, April 8th or Thursday, April 10th at Stone Summit. They believe you can't have a retirement plan without a tax plan. So fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Welcome back, guys. 222. Thank you for the conversation on YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate it. Spread the word about the show. The show is great. The show has always been great. It's always been successful. But we went through a darker period when we went from 97.1 FM to KMOX AM, and now everything's picking up and coming back. So all the people out there who used to love the DGS but didn't like the AM signal, hopefully they will come back. And you can also listen on the Odyssey app, which I still do quite a lot at home. Listened to Ricky and John yesterday during the game. That first one wasn't on. Pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, you know how it is. They're planning Saturday, and then after that, I'm sure, because the Sunday game was the ESPN game, the scheduled Sunday game. So I'm sure they just didn't have it in the plans for Sunday, which meant everybody was leaving after Saturday.
Yeah.
Then I don't think they wanted to change the plans.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sucks when a game's not on when you think it should be.
Speaking of sports, speaking of champions, you won?
Yeah. I take back everything I said about stagnating and feeling like I'm not moving forward. I am as a god would be.
Have you won before?
This is like the third thing that I've won, but it's been a long time. I have not won anything at my Magic Night.
So were you mobbed like Ovechkin on his
were you?
Well, there were only like 30 people at the store, so when they tried to like hip hooray me, like they couldn't really get me off. They were like, they just ended up dropping.
Did they at least dogpile?
They all slapped me in the back of the head.
Oh
no, it was great. It was super exciting. It was a whole bunch of fun, and it felt really, really good.
What was your best move?
I got my groove back a little bit.
Yeah, was there one that defined it?
Well, so the last guy that I played against, I didn't really care for him very much, so I was very excited.
Put a little stank on it?
Yeah, I was very excited to beat him because he was being very salty.
You know we're on the air right now.
Which is I'm not afraid to say he was being salty. He when he wasn't winning, when the game would turn in my favor and he wasn't winning anymore, he would be real. He was real, snippy, and his whole attitude changed.
You showed him.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ooh, I kind of can't wait to beat this."
Was he kind of the man prior to that?
No. I'd never even seen him before. He was just a guy that was there.
Random salt monster.
Yeah, he was just a guy that was there, and he seemed very nice at first, and I was happy to talk to him, and then he started getting,
sore loser.
Tilted is the term that is used a lot. Like when you start to lose. Yeah, when you're being when you start to lose and
Did
you're
he
not
crash out?
Man, baby.
He had a crash out. Yeah, no, it wasn't quite a crash out. But it was very exciting to win, especially right after I had been, sharing with you guys that I hadn't had any big successes in 4 or 5 months, and I was starting to feel like, all right, maybe I'm losing it. Maybe I'm not moving forward in the way that I would like to.
Yeah,
felt like everybody around me was having success, and I was failing to push forward. So this
was Megan there.
Megan's had kind of a rough couple of weeks at work. There's been a lot going on at her workplace. Some people left, so there's just been a lot of stresses on her. So she didn't want to go, but she'd already committed. And so she went there and she stayed for like one round of games. And then the Will, the owner of the shop, was like, I can't believe I'm even asking this, but does anybody want to go home? She was like, me right here.
Wow.
She's like, it's not like he's gonna win tonight or anything.
She somebody else had crashed out, if you will, and quit and stomped out because they were losing, I think.
Man, this is
drama.
Yeah. It's not usually that dramatic. These events can bring people out of, like, these particular style of events can bring people out of the woodwork that don't normally go to things like this. So I think some of them, maybe a little unsocialized.
You took care of that woodwork, though.
Mm-hmm.
Did you win a prize?
I did. I got a whole bunch of.
By the way, we're talking Magic the Gathering.
We are.
Yes.
For people who are new to the show.
Yeah. I got a whole bunch of packs as a prize, and I got some really good, expensive stuff in there that I'm going to sell off and make a bunch of money. So I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I want to come out some night.
Is it better to sell them or better to use them to play, or are they redundant as things you have?
It just depends.
Okay.
It just depends. Like, if I don't tend to hold on to very expensive cards, if I get a very expensive card, I like to try to sell it as fast as I can before the value goes up or down. I like the steadiness of the market. So I like to sell stuff that's expensive as soon as I get it, so as to not risk it dropping down in value. So
I
I
don't
don't
know when they're going to throw tariffs.
I'm glad the tariffs haven't hit that market.
Well, the tariffs have hit the market. The tariffs are going to be pretty nasty on some of the. It shouldn't affect much here because a lot of the printing factories are in Japan, but a lot of them are here as well. So they should be able to avoid. But like Canada has already been really difficult to get a hold of product up there, and it's going to get a lot worse with these tariffs.
Tell you guys about Universal Windows Direct. Like you, probably more than you, I watch television, and you can't watch television without seeing two things: ads for drugs and ads for Windows. They seem to be the two biggest advertisers on television. So I see all of the ads. I know most of those companies. I know a lot of the people, and most of them are good. It's not like they're criminals and we're saints or something. I'd never play it like that. But having some experience in this over my 25 years, I know a good client when I see them. I know a good product. I know good people. And if you have any trust in me, when the time comes when you need new windows for your home, whether you're selling or you're staying, you can't do better than Universal Windows Direct. The windows are great. They give you a lifetime guarantee, a lifetime warranty. There's no shenanigans. It's like a one-sentence guarantee. No one's going to try to screw you over on that. We're going to give you a buy two, get two free deal. Going to give you 36 months, same as cash. No, I'm sorry, till 2030. It's an even better deal now. Call 314, wait, where's my number? 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Start your day with an edge. Total Information AM. It's like breakfast for your brain. I wake up, I turn on the news.
I gotta listen 3 or 4 times every day.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
I like to wake up with the news.
Total Information AM.
It's where I get my news. Traffic conditions and potential weather that's coming.
If it's gonna rain, I want to know.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9.
I like to turn it on and just get caught up.
Where I get my news. The news, weather, and traffic.
On the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We take you now to Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL.
The northwest flow has shut down the rain, but it has brought in a pretty good cool air mass. Lots of sunshine going through our afternoon. 59, that's it for the high. It's also still a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clear, cold, a light frost and a light freeze developing towards morning. 29, 30 for the overnight low, but away from the urban environment, temperatures will get down to about 27, 28 degrees, and some will see a hard freeze. On Tuesday, sunny. It's just a cool day from start to finish. 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in. Some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late Wednesday afternoon and especially Wednesday night. High on Wednesday, 65. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
This month, Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Testis cancer is a disease primarily of men 18 to 45. And so for men in that age segment, we recommend doing just a monthly testicular self-exam. And you can do this in the shower and just basically feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps bumps on the surface of the testicle. And then, of course, if you find something like that, that's when you need to contact your doctor and get further workup.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Clint Black in concert. Clint Black, an incredible night featuring some of his greatest hits. This Saturday, 7 p.m., the Family Arena. Clint Black in concert. Special guests Ruby Lee and Emily Ann Roberts. On sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Clint Black.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Today, the Cards, the Pirates,
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
The Bernie Miklasz Report is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DG Ask 104.1 FM KMOX. Every Tuesday at this time, we have the great Bernie Miklasz on. He joined us now. Hello, Bern.
What's going on, Dave? I hope you all had a great weekend.
Dude, I didn't get in my car once. I was home on that couch so long that my back hurts, and I'm not even exaggerating.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
So Wheels and I have been intrigued to talk to you and get your thoughts on this very eventful weekend. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Well, the offense has been great all season, and it was certainly great again this weekend. I mean, the Cardinals have lost 5 games this year, and in the 5 games they've lost, they've averaged over 6 runs per game.
Mm-hmm.
The pitching staff's fallen apart. It's completely fallen apart. Their ERA since the Minnesota series ended, their ERA is 7.97. Starting pitching not covering enough innings. They're getting lit up. The bullpen's getting lit up, in part because the starting pitching's not getting them the game late enough. They're turning the games over to them very, very early. So the Cardinals have a major pitching problem. Whether this is a temporary bonfire or it's going to be a continuous thing, I don't know, but I do know before the start of the season, I said my number one concern was starting pitching. And I said the other thing over and over and over again, ad nauseum, the Cardinals bullpen was great last season, but it's unfair to expect them to be that good again, second year in a row. And they're not going to be. And that's okay. I think if we're realistic, we knew that was going to be the case.
What's really fascinating too is we all talked about it, and we liked, I know you and I agreed on it, at least for this particular team, that maybe, a 6-man rotation when that time comes made sense for this group because of all the things that we've discussed with guys that haven't pitched full seasons and making sure we take care of Sonny. But if nobody's going to get you innings, I don't know that works because the bullpen's already in trouble.
I'm with you. And listen, I just have to say this. I'm being like a mean guy here, but I'm not in favor of any 6-man rotation or any rotation that has Miles Michaelis in it. Okay, I don't care if they could go with a 9-man rotation. I would say no. You can't give him a spot.
I'll be honest. I pointed this out earlier, and I was tweeting about it. Bern, the outing was terrible. Like there's no other way around it. Like he was awful. Every pitch that he threw up got hit hard. He had 2 swings and misses on 81 pitches. But what bothered me more was after the game, what he said about it, which was he said, sometimes there's not much you can do. And he made it seem like it was bad luck. That's not bad luck, man. When you give up
bad pitching,
when you're giving up, 6 balls at 100 miles an hour or more and 2 more at 96 miles an hour, in less than 3 innings, that's not bad luck. And if that's what you can get out of your stuff, then what are we even doing?
Well, and the thing of it is, it's nothing new. He's been doing this. His pitching started to really decline in 2023. He's been doing this after every bad start. Well, sometimes they I make a good pitch and they hit it to where our defense just isn't there, and it just that's going to happen. The fielders aren't always going to be able to get to it. Boy, a lot of soft contact. I'm having bad. And the thing of it is, I hate to say this, but people that should know better, actually just are like stenographers and taking this stuff down and passing it along as if there's some validity to it. I mean, listen, this guy since the start of, first of all, his 3-year ERA, 23-24 in those 2 starts of 25, his ERA is well over 5 since the start of last season. He has got tied with Patrick Corbin, the worst ERA among starting pitcher, and that's a list of 50-some starters. Also, the lowest strikeout rate and the lowest swing and miss rate. And, in his 2 starts this season, he has faced 40 batters and only struck out 4 of them. He doesn't miss bats. And as I was saying in a video that I just did, it's not up yet at Sports IPL, Ali Marmol's quotes cracked me up last night. He was saying, in effect, like, well, he was basically saying, we hope that they just hit it at somebody. And that's their strength. He didn't say that literally, but that's what he meant. And that's really how's that for a strategy? A guy you're paying $17.7 million to. How's that for a strategy? Well, boys, let's hope tonight when they hit that thing 95 miles an hour, it's going to go right to the shortstop. Is that the strategy? Right?
Not great.
Let's hope Victor Scott can get to that 105 mile an hour line drive.
Yeah, and it'll be fascinating too, Bernie, because coming into today, we have no idea who's actually available in the bullpen. Right. Ryan Helsley threw 37 yesterday, so I'm going to assume he's not. Roycroft threw an inning in 2/3. So did Leahy. You had to use Matz a couple days ago for a long run, so he's probably not available. You might have maybe 3.5 guys behind Liberatore today, and then who knows Tuesday based on what happens today. So they're going to need Liberatore and Sonny Gray and then Fetty in Game 3 of this series to do their jobs, because if they don't, this could be bad. And then you got Philly this weekend, and Philly's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate to say this about Liberatore. First of all, I'm hoping, I really like the guy, and I hope he's going to have a really good start tonight. And he showed some resilience in his first start where he had a bad inning and he recovered from it. He's got some mental toughness now, which it takes time for young pitchers to develop that a lot of times. But if it is one of those nights where he doesn't have his good stuff or whatever, he's just going to have to wear it tonight. Yeah. He's going to have to take one for the team. So they can't burn out the bullpen again, for the 4th consecutive game.
So let me talk about it from the normie guy in the bleachers standpoint. I know full well that what happens in the next week doesn't really matter whether we end up winning the division or in the playoffs, but it could have a big effect on whether people come to the game the first quarter of the season. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree. I think the offense might be an appeal. If I could be numbers nerd for a second, the Cardinals, the number of runs that they've scored through 9 games, it's tied for 5th best all time in franchise history. Like, there's only been 4 teams in the first 9 games, like 100 and some years. There's only been 4 teams that have scored more runs than this Cardinals team in the first 9 games at the start of a season. Mm-hmm. So this offense is actually really, really special. Now they're going to have to show that they can sustain that. But there's a lot to like about this offense, and I think offense tickets more than mediocre pitching. And I think we knew, if you want to be candid about it, that their pitching staff was going to be pretty average-ish, pretty mediocre this year. So if the U.S. is lighting it up, that's a reason to come to the ballpark, because there's a lot of good things going on, and see if they can keep it up.
Obviously, outside of the pitching staff problems over the weekend, the big story was Ivan Herrera's injury. Sounds like they dodged a bullet on anything really serious, but he's on the injured list, so that's one of your that's been your best bat of all. And there's like 5-6 guys really hitting. He's been the best of them. The good news is that Pages has hit so far. The bad news is he probably doesn't project to do that. But I'm going to be really interested to see how that impacts the lineup moving forward with Herrera not being in there, because this first week and a half, he's been a killer.
Well, Paez, I think, is benefiting from working with the new hitting coach, Brant Brown. I mean, he has said that. Others have said that. He looks like he's not going to be a high on base guy because he's really aggressive, but he does have power. And, if you look at what he's done this season, he's got like 6 hits, 4 for extra bases. He's slugging a lot. The Cardinals, one of the great things about the early start is that their catchers offensively combined 350 batting average, 850 slug, 1200 OPS. So they, in terms of offense, at least for the first week and a half, they're getting the best offense from the catcher position in baseball. And I think they'll be okay with Paez behind the plate, because I think he'll, he's probably not going to hit for a big average. He's not going to walk, but he's got some pop.
Yeah.
So listen, there's a long history of Cardinals backup catchers who couldn't hit worth a damn. So
it's definitely not that, right?
So yeah, I'm not going to dismiss Paez as some kind of lightweight hitter. He's got a little muscle.
Yeah, and the slug. We've been talking for how many years, Bern, how much this team has lacked power, has lacked slug, and they're almost slugging 500 right now. And again, that's going to come down. They're not going to slug 482 for the whole season, I wouldn't think.
Explain that.
What do you, as far as
slug?
Well, I mean, they're extra base hits, right? In the past few years, they've ranked near the bottom of the league across the board. Now, in 2022, they were pretty good. That's when Goldschmidt and Arenado were at an MVP level, and everybody else was just their normal selves. And the last couple years, the power, like hitting home runs, hitting doubles, has not been there. But 14 home runs in 9 games, slugging 482, and that's not even Burton. That's just the beginning of it. He got 18 doubles to go along with it. And Herrera is a big part of that, but he's not the only part of that. And that is without Contreras doing anything, and he's probably the best of the group.
Yeah, he's heating up a little bit, but he's still striking out way too much. And the wind is starting to hit. The interesting thing, like I would have never thought, and I know it's early, and we can say that a million times. It's early. We know that. Only the Yankees have scored more runs per game. Only the Yankees have a higher slugging percentage. The Cardinals actually lead the majors in total bases per game. Or let me change that. People are talking so much about this streak of 10 plus hits in every game. They're overlooking the fact that the Cardinals are drawing a lot of walks. So in terms of average times on base, average times reaching base in a game, the Cardinals have the highest average in the majors. So this is exactly what you want. They're getting on base at a high rate, and then they're also driving runs in, and they're hitting for power to drive runs in. That stuff has been missing the last couple of years. And I do think the potential is there. I'm not going to say it's sustainable where they're going to have these monster numbers all year.
Right.
But I see with Brant Brown's influence, I don't see any reason why they can't have a good offense all year.
Should be. Hey, we should switch gears for just a second, because
we should.
We haven't spent a lot of time on the Blues. And I know we're the Cardinals flagship, so we understand that's what we're going to do. But the Blues won again. It's 12 in a row. They've got 4 games left in the regular season. Tonight is a fun one against Winnipeg. That'll be the number 1 seed, by the way. But the Blues have played themselves, Bernie, out of the matchup against Winnipeg in the playoffs for now, because they're in the 7 spot instead of the 8 spot. But I think tonight's fun. I think tonight's an interesting test. And obviously, look, you got a 12-game winning streak going, but there's a lot to like about where this team is heading, and it's almost time for playoffs.
There's so much to love about it. I'm going to repeat my usual thing. They're dominating in 5-on-5 play, and they have been since Montgomery became the coach. It wasn't just during this hot streak. That was even happening when they weren't playing all that well in some other areas earlier. But the other thing is, and I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know already, but they lose Colton Parayko. They haven't flinched, not for
even
1 second. They lose Dylan Holloway. They've won 2 in a row. They've had a lot of different things go wrong, and yet they find a way to win. And one thing about Jim Montgomery is I appreciate that he says it. I think he's right. He said, I know we have a really good team because we're winning even when we don't play our best hockey. And I think that that's absolutely true. So this team is younger than the 2019 Blues. And I'm not saying they're going to go win the Stanley Cup, and they're younger. But one of the more exciting aspects of this is just how great their young talent is and what a huge impact it's made. I mean, look at Jimmy Snuggerud. That dude can play.
Yeah. He hasn't hesitated, right? If this guy walks in late in the playoff season, he's just good.
And Robert Thomas was a very good center for the last couple of years or so. He's playing an elite level among centers right now. He's had the most points by anyone in the league since the beginning of February. I mean, that tells you a lot about him as far as centers.
Tell us about Saliga before we let you go for the day.
All right. Thank you, man. Saliga Heating and Cooling has been doing this since 1927. The Saliga family has owned it the entire way continuously. Dan Saliga is the fourth owner, operator of the family business. They do it all: residential work, commercial work, all makes and models. And listen, I would not pitch them to you unless we were at the Miklas home, very, 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 very familiar with everything about Saliga Heating and Cooling and what you can expect from this independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Their integrity is 100%. They don't try to hustle you. They don't try to talk you into stuff. When they say they're going to be at your home between a certain, let's say between 1 and 3 on a Friday or whatever, they're there. They show up when they're supposed to. They tell you they would. They're very professional, knowledgeable. They'll look for ways to actually save you money. And I want to really recommend this Priority Club maintenance program. And we're in it. We've been in it for a long time at Saliga Heating and Cooling. And they'll come out twice a year, check all your equipment, make sure everything's working well. And then that way, it's going to extend the life. The maintenance extends the life of the equipment. So it means you save money. And you also have the peace of mind that knowing you're in great shape and there's nothing to worry about. Just a little adjustment, little tweaking every time they come out, a couple times a year, just to make sure everything's exactly as it should be. So if you want to find out about that, you want to find out about how this American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer can help you in so many different ways, go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. That's SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Spring is here. Time for daffodils and road construction. Do your part to avoid a work zone crash. Pay attention, slow down, put the phone down while driving so we can all go home safe. Join the 11th Annual St. Louis Work Zone Awareness 5K, Saturday, April 19th in Chesterfield. Sign up today at KinghamOX.com/events. That's KinghamOX.com/events. Brought to you by the Missouri Coalition of Roadway Safety.
The Biz Dash returns for its 10th year as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at STLBizDash.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Neovitin, everyone knows what a multivitamin is. Most of us have been taking them, or at least took them as a kid, or the Flintstones, or, you get it. So we have one that was created here in St. Louis. I met Dr. Ken Ribicki and his son Tommy when Tommy was, I don't know, a teenager, maybe young 20s at the oldest, 15, 18 years ago when they first started things out. At that point, they were in a couple of mom and pop pharmacies. Their dream was to be in like a Schnucks or a Dierbergs or something. And we started doing business together. Ken had survived pancreatic cancer and he created Neovitin like almost literally in his bathtub, not to cure him, but to allow him to have the strength to continue practicing and running. He was a long distance runner. He survived that. He sadly died years later from something unrelated, but that's why we give a portion of every bottle to cancer research. Tommy now, full-grown man, a family of his own. He's now at the helm of it. It's a great product. It was created here in St. Louis, manufactured in the U.S. You can buy it off the shelves at Schnucks and Dierbergs locally or online at neovitin.com.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 252. So someone cooked raw steak in a microwave?
Yes, this happened at a workplace, and someone went on Reddit to complain about
I
this.
didn't know you could even do that.
Well, apparently you have to take the raw steak and just set it directly on the microwave plate in order to get it to cook properly.
Wow. Oh, great.
So, we have a lot of problems in this office from time to time.
Yes, we do.
Just recently, we went over the case of the stolen sandwiches
Yes.
and what was going on with that. But at least we don't have anyone microwaving raw steak on the microwave plate, which is truly just awful and disgusting.
Even if it wasn't gross and like you weren't making a mess, don't waste a steak on that.
Good point.
Yeah, don't
Get literally
microwave
anything else.
Don't microwave
a
the
steak.
So apparently the person that did the steak has microwaved other weird things in the past, like boiled eggs, which ended up exploding.
Great.
And I'm sure smelled
sure that
amazing.
smell went
I'm
away
not
fast.
trying to be funny. That's enough to get rid of that person.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want that person in my office.
Have some
Yes.
judgment.
Also microwaved sardines, and they said it smelled like the apocalypse.
God. Why would you do that?
That's
It's like you're trying to get fired.
When we were at Emmis, someone was microwaving shrimp linguine and put it on 2 minutes and walked away. And when they came back, someone had eaten the shrimp.
Wow.
That's wild.
That's also, to me, like fireable. Like getting other people's food, knowing it's not yours and just blatantly eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. It's one thing like we like our sandwich gate, where it may or may not be for other people. When somebody else has brought their own food,
Yes.
Yeah.
and they're warming it up in the microwave and you eat it, you're a despicable
Although,
person.
Let's not judge people too harshly.
I have a confession to make. I owe Debbie Monterey an apology and a thank you. I have used your ketchup.
Oh, that's different.
That's a little different.
Those
I
are
don't know. I think
fine.
Debbie's protective of her ketchup. She has
Oh.
her name on it, and I've used it. So, Deb, I will bring you in a big Heinz and put your name on it.
Yeah, I think
I'll make it good.
I think things like that are a lot different.
It's a lot more
Than eating
leeway.
someone's shrimp, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like somebody brings a specific like that. You're not going to ruin someone's lunch by having a
Yeah.
little bit of what's there. Now, if you finish the bottle, yeah, you're bad.
But eating the protein out of someone's at-home Tupperware, like I'm having a hard time just getting my mind in that place.
Yeah.
How low are you feeling at that moment where you feel like that's what you
Yeah.
deserve?
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a lot of self-loathing right there. I just feel like nothing is good. I feel like the microwave kind of diminishes everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
It
it is.
depends,
It's
but-
the worst way to cook almost everything that can be cooked other ways.
Yeah, it's just you have to be like it's good for reheating if you do it right. It's not good for cooking.
No. I mean, maybe a hot dog.
Yeah, but that's already cooked.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's you're warming it up. It's not that big of a difference. And you can use it. It's hard. It's not as good. Like if you were going to have leftover steak, if you do it in the pan and you do it quick and hot and it's really nice and good, that's perfect.
In my mind, I just went, what's he mean they're already cooked?
Like you can eat them out of the
been a-
package if you want to.
I've never been a believer of that. I think you gotta
No,
cook
it's,
them more.
it's
I'm
basically
not-
bologna. You can eat it right out of the package.
We ate them raw, right?
When
Yeah.
I was a child, I ate
Yeah.
many a raw hot
Yeah.
dog.
Many.
and I-
It's not good, but you can do it.
Yeah. I want to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy. And as I say many times in my live endorsements, I believe in all of my live endorsement clients, or I wouldn't be telling you about them. But you can always tell when I have a little sparkle in my eye, when I have a little lilt to my voice. I've been playing Underdog literally every day. If I don't put something down on the Cardinals game, which I was just literally before we came back on, I'm looking at that. I was going to bet higher on O'Neal Cruz, even though he's facing us tonight, but he's not playing. They let you know that. So I'm having so much fun. Here's the basics. Whether it's basketball, baseball, the NHL, MLS, other sports, they'll give you the player. They'll give you the like Mason Wynn is going to have 0.5 base hits or 0.5 bases total. And you say, he's going to get a hit. He's going to get on first base. He may even get more than that. You bet higher. If it's Nolan Arenado is going to have 2.5 bases and you think, I'm not sure he's going to do that well, then you can say lower. And you can win a lot. I've been winning. It's been a ton of fun, and it just makes the games more enjoyable. So download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code Glover to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make your first deposit. Again, use promo code Glover, and I think you guys are going to have an absolute blast with Underdog the way I have been the last few weeks. Must be 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you're concerned with your play, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Experienced, trusted, honest. Comptroller Darlene Green showed up for us. Re-elect Darlene Green. She showed up to protect the airport from being privatized. She showed up and saved 3,000 NGA jobs. She showed up and the city earned a AA credit rating. Darlene Green showed up for employee raises, workers' rights, and women's rights. Vote Tuesday, April 8th. Darlene Green for Comptroller, because it's your money.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, Don Nix, Treasurer.
Went to Schnucks several times over the weekend. Once was to just do a big grocery haul, which, fair enough. Got to do that once a week, once every couple weeks. The second time was basically just to go get donuts because I have been hooked on these cinnamon roll donuts that Schnucks has ever since Wheeler brought me one a couple weeks ago. Oh my gosh, they're so good. So I got one of those. I got one of the fried croissants, which are just, chef's kiss amazing. Dave just made the chef's kiss noise from across the studio. They're so good. You have to try them if you've never had them. The Schnucks Bakery is just an A+. They do so much great stuff. So pies, cakes, donuts, check it out if you never have. You are going to love it. And the price is right, too. Speaking of prices, Schnucks has lowered the prices on over 2,300 items across the store. That means some of your favorites are sure to be included in that. So next time you're in store, make sure you check the price tag and see if the price has been lowered since the last time you went in. And make sure you're shopping with the Schnucks Rewards app to earn 2% cash back on every purchase.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Few can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation, 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, we've got sunshine. It is 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. And this is just in. The National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for the city of St. Louis and surrounding areas from midnight tonight through 9 a.m. Temperatures will drop to sub-freezing temperatures overnight. Watch out for those new plants. The National Weather Service issuing a freeze warning from midnight until 9 a.m. If you've ever had a flood in your home, you know the feeling of, now what do I do and who should I turn to?
That's why it's important to pick a reliable, reputable company as soon as possible. Wendy Melrose with the Flood Team, a restoration company, tells KMOX getting your basement dried is crucially important.
We try to help them navigate all of this because they're scared. They don't want water in their basement. And so we refer them to sewer and drain companies to be able to get the water out as much as possible or to pump that water out with other companies. And then we come in and we dry it. So it's keep them safe from mold. So people think, oh, maybe we can use a box fan. Well, not going to be the type of air pressure that's going to take it. Plus, they need antimicrobial.
Melrose says if you don't see water in the drywall, that doesn't mean it's not there.
Water will go anywhere on the path of least resistance.
And know the cleanup and restoration company you are dealing with. Get recommendations from friends, check Google reviews, and try to pick a local company. Stay away from the out-of-towners. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Stock market turbulence is hitting new levels of discomfort. Jason Brooks has the latest.
Wild swings have defined stock trading to start the week following the first back-to-back 1,500-point declines by the Dow in its history. Stocks initially reversed course after opening deep in the red, but that rally quickly evaporated when the White House shot down a report that President Trump is considering a 90-day pause on tariffs outside of China. Selling then picked up when the president posted on Truth Social that he will slap China with an additional 50% tariff if Beijing doesn't remove its 34% retaliatory tariff on U.S. goods by tomorrow.
The S&P 500 briefly slipped into bear territory, down 20% from its all-time high.
I'm Matt Piper. Billionaires are turning on President Trump, and that includes investor Bill Ackman, who endorsed Trump for president. In a post on X, Ackman wrote that the tariffs are massive and disproportionate. The founder of the Pershing Square hedge fund management company said they're like launching an economic nuclear war. Ackman says the damage they'll do could take decades to rehabilitate.
In response, the White House National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett said in an interview this morning that Ackman should ease off the rhetoric. St. Louis County voters will be asked to vote on Proposition B, which would allow the county council to remove department directors with or without cause. Courtney Whiteside is director of the county municipal courts.
We are not politicians, so this has all kind of put us in a very different realm. And truthfully, we've gotten caught in the crossfire, if you will.
The crossfire of the county council and the county executive. Whiteside says department directors would potentially have 8 bosses pulling in different directions. That would make it hard to hire new people because of the uncertainty. The KMOX business desk, Dominion Energy in Virginia, says it wants to increase customers' bills by about $21 per month over the next 2 years.
My eggs are $5. I'm not going to be able to afford either eggs or my electric bill. Something's got to give.
Dominion says the hikes would be implemented in 3 phases to about a 15% increase by 2027. Ameren, Missouri has been seeking a 15% hike from the Missouri Public Service Commission. Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index. Here's Stifel's Scott Bedell.
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. A volatile day, to say the least, as the major financial indexes had an 8% swing from low to high in the first hour of trading, only to sell off into the close. When the dust settled, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 349 points, or just about 0.9% to 37,965. The Standard & Poor's 500 index lower by 0.25% to 5,062, while the NASDAQ Composite Index eked out a gain of 15 points to close at 15,603. The Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index moved down off 1% at 1,329. A couple of winners among St. Louis stocks. Boeing added 1.6% to $138.86. Emerson Electric up 2.5% at $96.97. On the downside, Anheuser-Busch dropped 2.75% at $59.27. Stifel Financial fell 0.75% at $78.51, while Edgewell Personal Care lost 5.5% to close at $27.99. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to visit our website at stifel.com.
We've got some road work on 44 going east to Gravois. That's got the left lane closed. Also a stall 255 going east to Telegraph. That is on the right shoulder.
We are finally breaking the rainy weather pattern. Lots of sunshine this afternoon, but it is cool in the northwest flow. Also, still a little bit windy, 59 for the high, so our temperatures stay below average. Tonight, clear, cold, still on tap for a light freeze across the areas. We go down to about 29, 30 degrees. Tuesday, sunny. It's a cool day, 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in, some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late afternoon Wednesday into Wednesday night. The high Wednesday, 65 degrees. Now, there's still flooding going on, especially along some of the smaller streams and also along the Merrimack River. River's high, but at least the levels are all starting to drop now. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got sunshine and 58 in St. Peters, 57 in Florissant, 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER. The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS. Happy Monday. So I've talked already about how I had such a lazy weekend. We were off on Friday, and I just laid on the couch and watched baseball and Ancient Aliens. I just wasn't moving until someone came to my door.
Uh-oh.
And I was like a rocket shot upstairs. And it turned out to be a young girl, Girl Scouts or something. She left a sticker on my window about, if you have like personal care needs that you can, all this kind of stuff. Here's my suggestion. We live in a new time. No one should ever come to your house uninvited. So the only two reasons I think anyone should ever come to your house is if you've invited them or if it's official business. The cops need to come. The water company's going to turn off your faucet, whatever it is. Official business or invitation. Other than that, no one should knock on your door. What do you think? Am I just being way too protective?
I agree.
That girl scared the hell out of me.
Not counting neighbors.
I fully agree.
Well, that would be an open invitation.
Right. Like, but I mean, like, yeah, because if it's people that's different.
I count neighbors. Don't come knocking on my door.
Oh, no, I like my neighbors.
I don't know or care for any of my neighbors. Don't come knocking on my door.
If you're my
I
neighbor,
hate
we're
when
friends,
people-
you can knock on my door.
I had no idea that knocking on the door was still such a thing. But every time I have been like home from work on a weekday, no less than like 3 knocks on the door. That's crazy. People are just knocking on my door all day in my neighborhood.
Yeah, not a fan, though, of like people doing business that way. It's not 1952. You don't have to be selling me a vacuum cleaner door to door. I have the whole internet to look at those things, and you can send me. I mean, plus your company's probably already sending me ads via Amazon or in my email or on social media or whatever. And I have the same thing. Don't call me either. Can we just say that too?
Yes. Thank you.
Don't call me anymore. I don't want to answer your questions. I don't want any of it.
Back in like 2010, when Bolger and I were hanging out all the time, he would text me and I would call him because it's Bolger. And I'm like, hey, buddy. And he would avoid my call and then text me back.
Yeah.
And I would call him and he would avoid my call and text me back. He trained me to not call him.
Yeah.
And now I look back on that. I'm like, what sort of monster was I?
Well, people who know me can call me. Like, I don't care about that. But
It's
like
still got
businesses,
to be something important.
It should be at least something that's maybe like, for example, Matt Pauly and I text each other a lot. Sometimes a text will turn into one of us calling the other because we're driving.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to talk for 2 minutes than to text, voice text, and do all that kind of stuff.
Like Rach and I are as close as friends get. If I see someone's calling and it's Rachel, somebody's dead.
I get that. No, I get that.
Right?
Yeah, I get that.
How do we feel about a politician knocking on your door?
Go away.
I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to do that, but that would probably fall under the official business.
Okay.
I
for
guess,
me.
yeah, but I'm not answering. I'm gonna peek out the window and I'm like,
Oh,
I don't.
I'm running upstairs and
I don't know you.
And I am a fully grown ass man.
Yeah.
And I hide from the DoorDash man every single time.
Oh.
Every single time.
I mean, you don't have to hide from them. They're just bringing the stuff you ordered.
And one of the low points of my life is when I think I've timed it to where they're in their car, but then I ooze out of my little hidey hole to grab my McDonald's, and the guy goes, "Thank you," and I was like, "Ah."
All right,
I felt pretty bad yesterday. We ordered some food, and the person got there, and we have on the thing like just leave it at the door and take off, be on your way. But they like knocked and were like standing there and waiting for me to take it. And as I'm walking up, I said out loud, "Is it so hard to just leave it at the door?" I felt kind of bad.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Follow instructions.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't feel. There was one time I was getting food delivered as well, and it was a gentleman, and he kept calling me over and over again. And finally, I'm like, this guy's going to attack me. That's why he wants me to come to the door. So finally, I answer the phone. I'm like, yes, the police are on the other line, sir. And he's like, oh, no, there's some teenagers hanging out outside. I don't want them to steal your McDonald's.
Oh.
So that was actually really nice. I went and met him
Yeah.
at the door and it was fine.
That's
but
very
in
nice.
general, if you say leave it outside, they should leave it outside.
Leave it outside.
Is it weird that part of the reason I don't want to answer the door for those people that are selling me stuff because I know I'm going to be mean?
Like how?
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, like, so for example,
I'll crack the door.
I'm not
crack the
going to
door
sit
and be
and
like,
listen
"Get
to
out."
your speech.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, are you interested in this roof? No, I have a roof. I'm good. Thanks. And then I'm going to be like, have a good day. And I'm going to close the door because I'm not going to sit there and waste time. Now, again, if it's a little kid, I don't even mind little kids. Like if you're selling Girl Scout, it's fine. You're a kid. It's not the end of the world. And I'll probably buy your stuff because I'm a softie for the kids. But like, I don't, if
It's just so funny. He said that like he was a Bible character.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm going to yell at everyone. Now, if babies come to the door.
yeah. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to be like overtly mean. I'm just not going to listen to your pitch.
Yeah.
You can start with, do you want, hey, we're in the neighborhood and do it. And I'm like, I have a roof. I'm fine.
How often does someone say, actually, I am interested in siding?
I don't know, but it's got to be enough because they still do it.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, I don't want the pitch. If I wanted the pitch, I would be inviting you to my house.
Yeah.
I watched The Wolf of Wall Street last weekend, I think.
Oh, yeah?
And they have the whole thing where they do the cold calling and they're
Mhm.
trying to get people to buy their penny stocks.
Mhm.
And part of it really is just like wearing someone down. And I mean, I will admit, I have bought things before because I didn't want to hurt the person's
Mhm.
feelings because
Yeah.
they're putting so much into the pitch that I'm like, I can afford to just
Right.
make their day right now. Nothing huge, nothing like, make or break. But that also happens on a much larger scale
Yeah.
too. So
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think there are that many people like sitting around like, I hope a telemarketer gets me, but sometimes it works, they're able to do their pitch in a way that resonates with
Man,
people.
I used to. So one of my early jobs in radio, like I was a fill-in host, but like my day job was I was the guest booker for our sports network. And this was before email and text. So you had to cold call people in their hotel rooms. I would do
That's
that.
like stalker
I would
stuff.
do
Ooh,
hotel roulette
terrifying.
every day for NBA players.
So you would just say, could I have Mr. Johnson?
You just call, you just call and you're like, I'm looking for Michael Jordan. Now,
And they would put you through?
well, it depends. So sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So you had to learn because like some guys would always have their phones off. They would always tell the hotel, do not put calls through. Others never said anything, and you reach their room, and you would obviously most of the time you're calling them in the morning, and it wakes them up, and they're like, "Yeah, call me back in 2 hours." Which meant I'm not going to be here in 2 hours, so go ahead and call because I won't answer. But then you would do the thing where you'd learn. Some of them had like fake names that they would use on the road, so that their family members could call.
Yeah.
People who knew them could call.
Yeah.
And when you found those out, that was great. Like remember the Michael Vick one was Ron Mexico. That was his fake name for the road.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a thing. So like you would get to learn those things every once in a while. But there is that job sucked. It's nothing but getting hung up on all day long because
That's
most
terrible.
people don't want the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I've been the bad guy.
You know what else is getting to me?
Hmm.
TikTok, because it just keeps showing me things that I'm interested in but things that everyone else seems to be better at than me. Rachel, look behind you. Window washers.
This is exciting.
Can you see that on the cam?
Hello. I'm gonna wave at this
No,
man.
there's no view of
I
it.
waved at him and he didn't wave back.
He has no idea he's on TV right now.
Yeah.
I'm really offended he's not like making a big deal out of it.
Hello.
He's locked in. He's focused.
Yeah, he's
He
doing
is.
a
He's
job.
busy working.
We're knocking on his door. He doesn't want
Fine.
that.
But no, like I'm a drummer and I see these 3-year-olds who are 10 times better than me. And it's just like depressing. And I know that I should be more secure and I should just be like, well, I'm my own kind of drummer and blah, blah, blah. But do you have anything like that on TikTok where you see things maybe so much more beautiful
Yes,
or
Dave, that's
is that the whole thing?
that's the whole thing. Is like every day I log on to if I get on TikTok, it's just full of girls. I'm like, I can't believe your skin looks like that. I can't believe your face is that symmetrical. Now, a lot of times I do think they are using a filter that I don't know about,
Yeah.
but still it's like I don't look like you.
You know, I don't know whether it's a boy and girl thing, but Kev, I never have that thought. I mean, I know that I'm in the bottom 30% of handsome, but I never see someone and go, damn it. Like I can see a baby outplaying me on the drums and that bothers me.
Oh.
Or a one-legged guy who can juggle a soccer ball better than me, but I never see, I never judge someone physically and feel bad about it.
It's almost as if men aren't held to the same beauty
Yeah,
standards as
it's a good
women.
bit. It's a good bit different. I mean,
Yeah,
like I've seen, like, especially like you'll see. There's I forget the dude's name, but there's this dude where a lot of the ladies do like their, what do you call the stitches, where he chops wood. That's what he does. Like he breaks these giant, like tree stumps, and he's big and he's jacked and he's good looking. And you'll be once in a while you're like, well, glad I'm not competing with that. But other than that, it's like not that. There's no judgy thing. I must get the totally different feed though, because I don't get anything where it's like people doing the stuff I do. I get. I mean, other than the people that are doing pranks, because I do pranks. But like that,
man, that was a damn good prank.
Yeah, but they're only half as good as me. No, they're pretty good actually. Some of the intricate ones are pretty good. But I don't get a lot of the things that are like that. Like I don't get like talk radio people doing. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like the interest. I don't get a lot of. Yeah,
TikTok has not figured out I'm a radio person.
In fact, I'll tell you this. I see half the people on there. I'm like, you needed 11 edits to do that, to do a 1-minute little speech. Like,
those
figure
drive
out
me
how to
nuts.
talk, man.
Those drive me nuts.
Write
The
it down
videos-
first and just go in one
Yeah,
take.
the
Stop
videos
with the
where
10 takes.
Every other word, there's like an edit in between, and it's like, man, you gotta.
I thought they were doing that on purpose for stylistic reasons.
Oh, I think
it
it's because they
depends.
can't. Yeah, I think it's because they can't string together a thought for a minute.
Get them.
Which, by the way, we're all better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody in this room is better than that.
Hell yeah. One take Dave, that's what they call me.
And we're hotter. So there.
Yeah. Forget that guy that chops the trees up.
Brian says, seeing an 8-year-old kid ripping the hardest guitar riffs when I've been playing for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
It's so true, Brian. I
Yeah.
feel the same way.
But keep in mind, like their brains don't have as much in there. So when they take stuff in, there's room for it.
I guess.
Yes.
We don't have as much room. No, those
they're
kids are
so dumb.
Because they're so dumb.
they're young and
Stupid heads.
figuring it out.
When you've been hurt in an accident, you need a law firm that wins. Onder wins. For over 100 years, Onder Law has been winning for St. Louis. With over $5 billion in negotiated settlements and over $300 million in verdicts, Onder wins. Voted best law firm by STL Today 2 years in a row, Onder wins. Whether it's settlements, verdicts, or awards, Onder wins. If you've been hurt in a car accident, trucking accident, or hurt on the job, Onder Law will get you the money you deserve. At Onder Law, winning is what we do. So when the stakes are high, Onder wins. Call us today for a free consultation. We don't get paid unless we win for you. Dial 314 or 6189 million. That's 314 or 6189, then all zeros. Or visit us online at onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller John Nix Treasurer.
It's your money. $1 billion budget each year at City Hall. Darlene Green is the seat at the table for our community. Darlene Green manages our tax dollars with a steady hand. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller. Respected, trusted, our voice for the community. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller because it's your money.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Community America Credit Union has a new branch in Hazelwood. Join me, Amy Markscores, Special Cardinals alumni, and Fred Bird on April 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the grand opening. There'll be exciting prizes and delicious food. See you there.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM, the same great station with even better sound.
Welcome back, DG Ask 104.1 FM. We're out of here today at 4:40, making room for Matt Pauley and the pregame show. Cardinals play tonight at 5:40. Can I confess something?
Yes.
Yes.
You know how much I love you.
Me?
I love you like a brother.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant all of us, but okay.
No, just you.
All right.
Nick has 4 seats behind home plate for Friday's game. And he said, hey, Dad, you're in with me and my friend Ian. And do you think Wheeler'd want to go? And I said, well, if he's not coaching, he would. And I said, let me tell you something. There's nothing like watching a game with Wheeler, but I promise he won't stop talking.
Never.
And he goes, that's great because neither will Ian. So it was like perfect.
All right.
Like right on.
Good deal, man.
Yeah.
So you're right. I do. I talk through games.
Yeah.
I do that in my basement.
What if you get there
I
and
just
find
talk
out that
myself.
Ian and Wheeler's tickets are on a completely different section than you and Nick's tickets?
You make that happen. No, I've told this story before, but when I had just met Wheels and we went to a ball game in the suite and Nick was there and Wheels talked to Nick for like an hour and Nick and I went home together. And he was like, I can't believe, because Kevin's a big deal. Like Nick is a big sports guy and he's listened to Kevin forever. He's like, I can't believe he talked to me and I can't believe he talked to me that long. And now I realize it could have been like a hydrant, like
That's not true. I mean, it's partly true.
You have a quick stairway?
Yeah. So it's not about sports, but it's about my drive. I drive in and home sometimes on 70. I don't always take 70. I kind of look at it between 40 and 70, whichever one's going to be faster, right? Sometimes there's construction or whatever. 70 looks like the apocalypse. There are parts of cars on shoulders everywhere. There are at least 3 disabled cars that have been there for at least a week. There's a car that is on blocks. Nobody's coming back to get it. There are no wheels, not no tires. There are no wheels. This car has been stripped. And it is sitting on blocks eastbound 70 just before Kings Highway. And it's been there at least since last week. There's furniture. There are, I hate to say it, there are like 3 dead dogs that have been laying there on the shoulder on 70 for weeks. Weeks. Who's in charge of that?
Good question.
Like, does nobody that works for any authority drive down that road and go, yeah, we should pick up all those bumpers and the dead dogs and the cars that people are obviously not coming back for? Like, this is one of the major thoroughfares that goes east to west in this nation. So anybody coming from east of here going west of here is going through that.
That is your picture of St. Louis.
And if you're driving down that, you're like, I am never coming here. This is insane.
Amen.
Not to mention just, potholes and stuff too. And those aren't as terrible now as they've been in the past. Like, how does that stuff just get looked past? It's sitting there. A car with no wheels on cement blocks is just, and by the way, it's on the shoulder. So if anybody stops paying attention for a second or has to swerve to avoid another car, they're going to run into that thing. I mean, like, it's not just ugly, it's also dangerous. And so is having a fender and a bumper laying in that shoulder. And I don't understand. Like, we can't clear snow. We can't pick up trash. We can't take hazards off the roadway on one of the major east-west thoroughfares in this nation. I don't know if that's a city. I don't know if that's a county or a state. I don't know who that is, but that's ridiculous. And why does somebody have to come on the radio and complain about that? Like, oh, well, we didn't know. What do you mean you didn't know? Nobody monitors. Nobody's driving up and down there every once in a while to see.
I really wonder. I have no idea whether that's a city of St. Louis thing or
I don't know either.
thing. But whoever's thing it is, they're failing badly.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's why I'm not picking any particular group of people.
That should be like from 170 in would be a big ask, but maybe Kings Highway in, it should be lovely. There should be trees, and it should be attractive. Because like when we go to Kansas to see Phoebe and you go through Kansas City, you don't have that. I mean, it's not the prettiest, drive ever, but it's not like that.
No, I would go for all of that, but I mean, let's just make it less hazardous.
Yeah.
Let's make it so that, people aren't going to maybe die because they have to swerve to miss someone who's not paying attention, which, by the way, if you drive on 70, is literally every day.
Yes. Let me tell you guys about Zero Res. As you know, every month they have a deal. This month's deal is 3 rooms of carpeting starting at $119, $75 off your air duct cleaning. I can tell you that I have been representing Zero Res more than 15 years now. I can tell you that they've been out to the house half a dozen, 10 times, something like that. And they treat me like any other customer. A lot of times the guys who come out, the technicians, don't have any idea that I do radio ads for them. They are very punctual. If you set a 9 a.m. Time, they'll be there at 8:45. They're going to be there in a truck or a van that is clearly marked Zero Res. They'll be wearing a uniform that says Zero Res. That's important to me because I want to make sure that I am comfortable letting them into my home with me, my family, my pets. Then you do a walk around. Okay, this is the high traffic area. This is where I spilled a glass of red wine. They work their buns off. And then if you're not satisfied, they'll do it again based on the 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee. So I really believe in these guys. They've been with me a long time. They do take care of the DGS. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, fellow Gen Xers, it's Elizabeth Banks. Big news. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the charge. After all, we gave the world the internet. We're trailblazers. Let's lead the way again because we are at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Head to VaxAssist.com and schedule today. That's VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling on the highways in Fenton, we have, of course, changeable conditions with the flooding. Rising Merrimack 141 is now closed, both directions underneath 44. Southbound 141 is jammed back to Helfrich. Some folks are going east on 44 to Bowles to double back onto the westbound exit side. There's a crash blocking at the exit eastbound 44 to Bowles. So a little bit of a heavy stretch right through there. You can get around the crash, though, and get off the highway. Westbound 44 Lindbergh out to 270. South 270 is kind of busy. 44 down to Gravois. Westbound 30 doesn't look bad until you get to 141. It's not bad there, but it is backed up out to Summit. And again, there's restrictions. Larkin, Williams, Yarnell, and Fenton. West Watson on the other side of the Merrimack along 30. Alternate routes are, the main thoroughfare, so it's getting busier than it normally would be there. Downtown, we're backed up eastbound 64 at Jefferson, 44 Lafayette to the Poplar, eastbound 70 across the Mutual Veterans Bridge. You've got heavy traffic. A jam on eastbound 70 from the Three Eyes and Troy, most of the way over to Route 4. That's due to emergency repair work going on in the area. Now, if you're on South 270 or bumper to bumper from Page down to 64, we had an incident there. After that, it doesn't look as bad. Like I said, a little busy heading down toward Gravois. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
St. Louis. Your Battlehawks are back at home this Sunday, April 13th to take on the DC Defenders. Get your tickets now at UFLBattlehawks.com and dress for the Blue Masquerade, the St. Louis Battlehawks this Sunday, April 13th. All tickets available at UFLBattlehawks.com.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Christine, top of the 18th. Get back, Morales. This one fly. It just misses. Davis cuts it back. Going to shot. Oh, Big Ben lifts the big mid and knocks it away. Little badminton work for Lou. Turns one forward. Vollum has space. Closing in into the 18. Slides a shot. Oh. Hits it on the inside of the post and it stays on to the goal. Oh, he went back post at a centimeter. After 90 total minutes of regular play, KC 2, City nothing.
Up next, City SC faces the Columbus Crew Sunday night. Kick at 6:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
Hi, I'm Amy Mark Scores.
And I'm Chris Ranji. Look, we get it. The world seems insane right now. You're not alone.
Ranj and I are on different sides of the political spectrum, but we don't always talk politics anyway.
Yeah, we talk about what's going on in the world. We'll talk about the Cardinals and sports and TV and movies and whatever.
Life is more than politics. It's family and friends. And Chris and I were friends before this show. We're there for each other. We want to be here for you too.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX and the free Odyssey app.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Today,
the Cards, the Pirates,
Ameren Total Access 445.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Dave Murray's Weather is brought to you by the iParkit app. The easiest way to park on game day is to park with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking garages in St. Louis. 2 iParkit garages are on Clark Avenue. That's right next door to the ballpark. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. Use iParkit for convenience and peace of mind.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 104.1 FM KMOX. Dave Murray joins us. Hey, Dave.
Hello there. Can I comment on Wheels?
Yeah.
Comment?
Yeah.
I agree 1,000%. And I know mayors and city council people are busy, but I think there should be a requirement that the mayor has to, of just not St. Louis, of every town along 70, as far as the entrance to St. Louis is concerned, they have to drive that every week, once a week, and see what's going on there. Because I'm going to bet you they have no idea of what's going on. No idea.
I mean, I don't know how you don't. I mean, like, and I agree with you, Dave. You're probably right. They probably aren't. Whoever is in charge of that, and again, I'm not sure if it's the mayor's office or MoDOT, but honestly, if I were a city official, even if it's not my job to do it, I'd want to know so I could tell the people that need to do it.
Right.
Because it's going to reflect on me either way.
Yes. Yep.
And again, beating a dead horse, but it's not just safe, unsafe. It is the introduction to our city.
Absolutely. It has to look decent anyway.
Coming down 40 is okay. Like
Right.
you get to see the city and there's the arch and the whole bit. Coming down 70, you just get to see the worst of St. Louis.
Yeah, and 44 is okay. 55
44 is
is
okay.
Yeah. And but also, we've talked about this, Dave. The path to get on 70 westbound from downtown.
Impossible.
It is. You're literally going through burnt out buildings.
Literally.
That is. Yeah. There are literally. They're just drug dens, like empty buildings where all the druggies go hang out.
Every time, I don't do it as much as you, but every time I do it, I think you've made a wrong turn.
Yeah.
There's no way that this is the way it is.
Like if you're from out of town and you're getting through there, you're like, there's no way that I'm supposed to be here.
No.
There was a time when it looked like Channel 2 and Channel 30 might merge, but with an ownership change, and that the station would move downtown to where Channel 30 is. And Janice and I drove down there. This was ahead of the game, just out of it. And I pulled away thinking, no way am I driving to that every day.
Well, we're just a couple blocks away.
Yeah, I could run there in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's right by McDonald's.
Yeah. Dave, that's quite a rain event.
Yes. In fact, some numbers here. St. Louis, the official number, 5.36 inches. Just to show you the contrast, Columbia, Missouri, 1.66. Centralia in Illinois, 8.5. Union in Missouri, 7.3. Big River and the Merrimack River are in flood. They're going to peak. If they haven't peaked already, they're very close. So they should start to go down pretty soon. And the next rain that we have is not going to be a repeat at all.
Seems like it's pretty temperate week, like really lovely.
Yeah, it's it's a little cool tomorrow. We're like low 60s today. We're going to be about 55 tomorrow with a light frost and freeze first thing in the morning. Temperatures about 29 degrees. Though you get out towards Union, you get out towards away from St. Charles City anyway, and temperatures go down 26, 27. That's a bit of a hard freeze. 55 tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Next system starts to move in Wednesday. Wednesday as a whole is a dry day, mostly cloudy skies, but there will be scattered showers and thunder showers late Wednesday, 65. Scattered showers and thunder showers Wednesday night and Thursday. A lot of dry time, but scattered showers. 67 on Thursday. Friday looking good right now. This is not a severe weather event. No strong thunderstorms and no heavy rain.
Nice.
So that's the good news.
Very nice. Headlines, Rach?
Yeah, brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. Did you guys see the geese that made a nest next to the Wrigley Field bleachers during
No.
the Chicago Cubs games?
That's
this
pretty cute.
weekend? A goose was spotted nesting in the bleachers, leading to a section being blocked off for the bird's safety. Fans took photos of the geese, and the Cubs organization worked with a wildlife organization to ensure the geese were protected in accordance with state law.
That's super cool. So
Yeah,
they
I
didn't
thought that was
remove
kinda
it.
Cute. So they didn't remove. I don't think they removed it during the game. They blocked it off and made sure everything was cool.
But it's not living there.
I highly doubt that the geese are going to live there
Okay.
indefinitely.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
That would be neat.
Having
yeah.
lived on a lake, there's no meaner animal than a goose.
What about swans? Are swans meaner?
I think they're the same things in
Okay.
my mind.
Okay, I
so,
get you. Yeah.
When they have young or they've laid eggs or something, man.
Yeah, geese on a golf course. Oh my word.
Yeah.
They will come. They will charge you half a fairway away.
When we first built the house out there with on the lake, we were the first house in, and Phoebe was only 2, and we didn't have a fence yet. And so the geese would come up into our yard and eat the new sod or whatever they're eating. And I would chase them out, and Phoebe called me Dadu, and she'd go, "Goose, Dadu, goose, goose." And so we'd run out there and chase them. And one time, this is terrible, I admit it, but I threw an orange and it short hopped and hit a goose in the stomach. And here's the noise it made. And it was like pretty satisfying.
I say, did it turn and fight you?
No, that backed him off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get you.
Good. All right.
It would have been great if he'd have caught it.
Oh, man. What if he
scooped it?
What if he threw it back to you?
Retirees and disabled individuals are experiencing chronic website outages and access issues when trying to log into their online Social Security accounts. This comes on the heels of Doge demanding cuts to the IT staff at Social Security. They also did a 50% reduction in the technology division responsible for the website. So way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Seems like
nice.
it's working out.
Going just the way we want.
Katy Perry, Gayle King, and Lauren Sanchez, their space mission is launching in a week. I know you're really excited, Dave.
Did you see Olivia Munn?
Oh, is she going to do it too?
No, the opposite. She talked about how gluttonous it was and how ridiculous it is that there are people who literally can't feed themselves, but these queens are going up into space just for fun, not for research, not for anything that does anything for anyone but them. And I thought it was a great rant.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with it. I do wonder why that same energy isn't kept for when, like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, I
when he
agree.
does it. Like,
That's
why
a
is
good
it?
point.
Oh, it's all the girls.
Yeah.
Now it's time to pounce on all the girls.
That's
It's like,
a
well,
fair
they're not
point.
the only ones
100%.
doing it. Costco has a.
Bezos is so cool.
They're like, he's too sexy. We don't want to speak out against him. You guys are supposed to laugh at that.
I was taking a drink. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So was I.
It was like awkward silence. It was like, oh, I don't actually think Jeff Bezos is hot. I just want to throw it out there.
Everyone grabs a drink.
Oh, well, I do buy things from the man's website.
Okay, Costco has a new carrot cake, and it contains a divisive ingredient. Would anyone like to guess what this ingredient could be?
Carrots.
Cocaine.
No.
Peanuts.
Boogers.
Nope. It's raisins.
Oh, it's so good.
And some people say
No,
this
it's
is more
so good.
authentic.
Yeah, their carrot
I'm
cake
okay.
is. Oh, their carrot cake's so good.
I'm okay.
Heavily vouch for it.
How was your carrot cake at the Cardinals game, Dave?
Carrot cake to me is sort of like pizza.
Okay.
Some is
Hard to
better than
mess
others,
up.
but I
it's
never
always
had
good.
a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be
was
bad
good.
when it's dry, though.
Yeah. As much as I love Capitol Grill, I would say Ruth's Chris has the best carrot cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carrot cake is highly underrated.
Oh, I think so. But there's some people that hate it. It's like cilantro.
Weird.
Rapper Eminem's daughter, Haley Jade Scott, has given birth to a baby boy
Mazel
and
tov.
named him Elliot Marshall. So that means that Eminem is now a grandfather.
Grandpa Dem.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to think
What do you call Grandpa Eminem?
Yeah.
Grandpa Slim Shady, perhaps.
Nice.
Grandpa Shady. I want his next song to be called Grandpa Shady. Yes, I'm Grandpa Shady. I'm the real Shady.
Stupid
All the other
question, but was
grandpas
that
are
just
just
huge
imitating.
where you grew up?
No, because it was after I was gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he blew up after I would have been already out of there.
Okay.
Late 90s is when he kind of blew up, mid to late 90s. And I was gone by 93, 94.
Would
the way-
he have been huge?
Yeah. I mean, he grew up on 8 Mile. I grew up on 5 Mile, man. We could have been friends.
Wow, that's cool.
Well, no, it's like literal worlds apart.
3 miles.
No, 3 miles north-south, but probably more like 20 east-west.
I got a wild hair and looked up Charles Johnson,
Yeah?
the catcher that was in front of you in Miami.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
No, he was a monster.
That guy was a stud.
Yeah. I mean, 4 gold gloves in the big leagues, first-round pick twice
Yeah.
out of high school and out of college. He was legit.
That must have been really fun.
He was, for people that don't get it, like defensively, he was Yachty before Yachty. He didn't do it for as long as Yachty, so that's why he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of defensive player he was.
Was he a nice man?
I think he still holds the record for the longest games played streak without an error
That means he
in
was
baseball history.
Yeah, I think he did 100
No,
games.
nicest guy in the world. Seriously, like you could not, he and his wife, Ron, they're the nicest people in the world. Could not have been a better teammate and a
You
cooler
should get
guy.
him on the show.
Have to reach out. He sells barbecue sauce now.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Yum.
catch this
We
sauce.
can move some of that crap.
Get it? Catch this
Yum.
sauce.
Nice.
One more story here for you guys. President Trump said on Friday he's going to sign an executive order to keep TikTok running in the U.S. for another 75 days
Oh.
to give his administration more time to broker a deal to bring the platform under American
Well, that's the
ownership.
most important thing going on.
I say we're more careful with TikTok than 401k.
Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic reports a service of Siding Express. Emergency repair work on eastbound 70 west of Route 4 has a jam back to the 3 Eyes over in Troy right now. If you're on northbound 170, 70 up to Airport Road slow. South 170 is kind of busy south of Olive down to 64. Westbound 64 slow. Kings Highway out to McCausland. Lindbergh out through 270 and 364 out to Highway 70. Southbound 270 is jammed from Page to 64. After that, it's not bad. 44 westbound's busy, approaching 270 all the way out to the 141 exit. Of course, 141 under 44 is closed in both directions as the Merrimack continues to rise. Southbound 141 jammed back at Elfridge coming into Valley Park right now, and they're clearing a crash eastbound 44 at the Bowles exit. Eastbound 44 downtown and 64, both delays near Jefferson. 64 is a solid jam, though, headed across the Poplar. Those left lanes are closed at the Illinois end of the bridge for emergency repair work, just like they're doing out on 70 in near Route 4. Eastbound 70 backs up just east of the Musial Veterans Bridge, and northbound 61 at Frankfort. They just opened up a traffic lane. There's a crash there over a mile jam. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardy Siding. At Siding Express, we specialize in James Hardy siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com today to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. I'm Roger Brand in the Michaels Flooring Outlet.com Traffic Center.
Experience the exhilarating atmosphere of a Cardinals game. Join the sea of red in the wave around the stadium. Feel the rush of excitement as a home run lights up the sky with fireworks, bringing the whole ballpark to their feet. Nothing beats the thrill of watching the Cards get the W with the final out at the plate. It's more than a game, it's an experience. Visit Cardinals.com for tickets and info. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There is no better way to enjoy America's favorite pastime than cheering on the Cardinals with your family at Busch Stadium. From the thrill of watching the game to the kid-friendly activities, food, and fun, the ballpark has it all. Make magical memories as you cheer together for every home run, double play, and Cards win. Your family's summer tradition starts here at Busch Stadium. Grab your tickets today at Cardinals.com. St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Make reservations for the 2025 Women of Achievement Luncheon, presented by KMOX. This award luncheon takes place Tuesday, May 13th at the Ritz-Carlton, St. Louis, and celebrates 10 outstanding volunteers from across the St. Louis metropolitan region. Doors open at 11:15. The luncheon runs until 1:30. Reservations are $60 per person. Sign up and find more details now at KMOX.com/events.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or ConsumerCellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Trust Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
Experienced, trusted, honest. Comptroller Darlene Green showed up for us. Re-elect Darlene Green. She showed up to protect the airport from being privatized. She showed up and saved 3,000 NGA jobs. She showed up and the city earned a AA credit rating. Darlene Green showed up for employee raises, workers' rights, and women's rights. Vote Tuesday, April 8th. Darlene Green for Comptroller, because it's your money.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, John Nix, Treasurer.
Welcome back, DGS. Out today at 4:40. We'll hand it over to Matt Pauley to do the Cardinals pregame. Game at 5:40. I think it's like that for a couple 3 days.
Today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday will be a day game.
Day game,
but it's going to be early day game. I think it's like 11:40 or something like that.
There you go. 1 in 50 people think that they could outrun a horse in a 100-meter dash. I want to meet that guy.
People are so stupid.
Literally, the slowest horse is faster than Usain Bolt.
What about like a pony or like a mule?
Wait, are you one of these guys?
Well, I'm just saying, like, could Usain Bolt outrun like a mule or like a pony? Kevin, guy who seems to know
maybe one
seems to know the answer to all these questions.
Maybe one with a limp. I mean, like horses can run 40 miles an hour, man.
Yeah, that's why they measure cars in horsepower.
Maybe maybe a tiny donkey.
Maybe. Yeah, see, that's the question. The one that was giving you rides down the Grand Canyon past Donkey Murder Cliff or whatever.
Yeah, I could have outran that one. That was a beaten down donkey.
I mean, like the fastest people in the world is like 28 miles an hour.
The absolute fastest.
Yeah. I mean, there might be a few people that get a little bit above that, but like horses are like 44, 45 miles an hour. So like, again, on average, unless you're Usain Bolt running against the super, super slow old ass horse, no.
Isn't it weird that before the train, the fastest thing that any human had experienced was a horse? I like riding on a horse going 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
The trains back then didn't necessarily go faster than horses, though, right?
I would think so.
Because you could rob horses on.
I mean, you could
rob trains on horses.
Yeah, but there were periods like where they had to slow around bends and things like that. You pick it strategery.
20% of Gen Zers have never handwritten a letter.
Not surprising.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly, I don't feel that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm not writing letters.
Hey, where are the braids?
I have time to write those letters.
You need to go sailing again.
I know they don't last good.
No.
They were.
Did they hurt coming out?
No, it just takes forever. It takes a long time, but it just.
You're a slave to your art.
What's that?
You're a slave to your art.
I know, but they start looking kind of ratty. About a week is all. Otherwise, because I'm not going to sit there and not keep the hair clean. So
Sure.
you got to go through. So.
Sure. Want to jump into Sweet 16?
Yeah, let's do it. We have a couple minutes left in this break. We want to get started.
We can get a couple. So this is most perfect things, with the caveat that, of course, there are no perfect things, that some of the things that we're going to put on there you may not like, or you may like a different style of, or whatever. Granted, it's a little close to like Simple Pleasures, blah, blah, blah. But I just had that idea, thought it might be kind of fun. Yeah. Got a couple?
Yeah, I hated this.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I kind of figured you'd hate it.
Well, anytime I go out of town, you've come back in, and my day's just so.
Yeah.
If you said like best Michael Keaton movie, that's easy. But anything you have to put a lot of thought into,
We almost did. I
that?
saved you. We almost did best movie adapted from a book.
See, I could do that easier.
Oh, see, I thought
could
that'd
do
be
that
too
easier.
many steps.
This is like in depth.
Digging.
Going, okay, let's think.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate everything right now. I'm in the middle of something. There's nothing perfect for me.
You should bring some of your employees into it sometime. Like Jess at Ford says blah blah.
Oh yeah, we could do this sometime.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, we got your back. What do you have?
No, but I think I have some. But it was
Okay.
they're not as deep. I mean, you guys. I think yours will all be. Well, you remember? And I go, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. But here's one. Here's one though. Early summer day.
Nice.
Not middle of July when
Right.
we've had 42 straight days of 90 plus and 100% humidity. I'm saying like maybe the first weekend where it's over 80 and the humidity's low. Maybe it's even warm enough to swim.
Grass is green. And
Yes,
cut.
yeah, exactly. It's not brown
Not
grass.
Easter,
Yeah.
not the Easter
It's
grass.
not
and
water.
everyone-
Exactly.
Everyone's
It's just
lawn
the-
right now looks like a bad haircut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's just the early, and it's just so nice where you almost even don't need your air conditioning on yet because it's warm, but not, it cools at night. Just the early summer day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Rachel, I can't see that. Is it 5450?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do it then. Tell you guys about Ophthalmology Associates and the Cornea and Laser Vision Institute. My doctor, Dr. Birdie, his longtime partner, Dr. Malhotra, Drs. Brusati and Royer, round out the doctors. Why do they call them that? It's pretty cool. I always thought before I was in business with them and doing live endorsements for them that it was just a really clever marketing campaign. But 250 plus local and regional doctors come to us for their eye care when it's so critically important, no more important than yours, but you get it. They're doctors. They're taking care of people's lives, and their lives are in their hands, and a lot of it's based on their eyesight. So they come to us for their eye care. I can tell you from personal experience, having been there several times, the people are very friendly. The smiles and the warmth is genuine. The compassion is real. Whether you're there for a comprehensive eye exam, and they do a great job. If there's anything sinister in your eye exam or your kids or your elderly loved ones, they're going to find it. Maybe it's a surgical consultation for the LASIK procedure or cataracts if you're my age or older. But I'm telling you, this is the move. Go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. To make an appointment, 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
The easiest way to park on game day is to park with iParkit. iParkit has the best game day parking garages in St. Louis. iParkit has 2 convenient garages on Clark Avenue, located right next door on either side of the ballpark. The iParkit game day garages have multiple entry and exits to accommodate all fans, no matter where you're coming from or headed to after the game. Download the iParkit app and drive in and out using only your license plate. Use iParkit for convenience and peace of mind on game day. If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
O'Reilly. Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select brake rotors. You can upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for just $10 more. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20 more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in-store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Harbor Freight knows time is money, so for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. This weekend, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do, do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025 while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, it's busy in the Fenton area this afternoon. Obviously, 141 closed underneath 44 because of the rising Merrimack River. Southbound 141, still a jam from Helfrich down into Valley Park. Westbound 44 from Lindbergh all the way out to Bowles. Folks getting off at the 141 exit there. And eastbound 44 is backed up from almost 141 up to the Bowles exit. They're trying to double back at that point. Westbound 30 still on the brakes from just west of 141 out to Summit. Then it's in better shape after that. Southbound 55 from Arsenal all the way down through Bates is heavy downtown. Eastbound 64 and 44 both have a jam at Jefferson going across the Poplar. Again, emergency repair work as the 2 left lanes closed on the Illinois side of the bridge. Eastbound 70 is backed up in Troy from 270 from the 3 Eyes all the way over almost to Route 4 because of emergency repairs. For the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 4 o'clock, we've got some sun. It is 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump says the U.S. will be having direct talks with Iran about its nuclear program. CBS's Stacey Lynn is at the White House.
President Trump announced high-level talks begin on Saturday with Tehran. He said it would be in their best interest if a deal could be made, insisting they cannot get nuclear weapons.
You know, a lot of the families, they're just like, we don't know where to start.
That's Wendy Melrose with the Flood Team, a restoration company that's been working around the clock since last week's heavy rains. Melrose says not only is it paramount to get the cleanup started right away, there's an emotional component too.
You know, just being that voice of reason to be able to guide them and hear and listen. And when you have referral numbers ready to go, they're like, thank you so much. Because you don't want fly-by-night companies calling our families because we care, and everyone else should care because you don't want anyone taken advantage of.
Melrose tells KMOX most of the areas they're servicing are North City and County, St. Charles, St. Peters, Wentzville, and some parts of South County. Republican House leaders are working to drum up support within their party for a budget resolution adopted by Republicans after an all-night voting marathon Friday. The resolution includes a framework for President Trump's tax cuts. Correspondent Nicole Killian reports some Republicans might have reservations.
This is a compromise budget resolution, but again, most of the opposition has been from those Republicans, kind of those more fiscal hawks who are concerned about raising the debt limit potentially, ultimately in a legislative package, but also want to see much deeper cuts than what the Senate has proposed.
Imagine having 8 bosses. That's what could happen if Proposition B passes, says Courtney Whiteside, director of St. Louis County Municipal Courts. And the fallout?
It would be very difficult for somebody to rationalize coming to work for the county when there's potentially eight different directions in which the leadership within the county wants to go.
Whiteside says she and other department directors are not politicians, but they are caught in the crossfire of the feud between the council and county executive. Prop B would allow the county council to fire directors with or without cause. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attended the funeral for the second child to die from measles in a rural West Texas Mennonite community. He's also made a switch on the measles vaccine now that a second child in Texas has died of the virus. Correspondent Janet Shamlian.
Kennedy, for the first time, expressing support for the measles vaccine in a tweet saying, "The most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine." He said he is working with Texas health officials to control the outbreak.
The KMOX Business Desk, a new report reveals home insurance premiums are up 50% in Illinois over the past few years.
Nationwide, homeowners saw their insurance rates go up twice as fast as inflation. On average, those premiums increased by about $650. In Illinois, the average homeowner is paying $1,000 more a year to insure their home than they did in 2021. Consumer Federation of America Director of Housing Sharon Cornelison tells KMOX there are several reasons.
Increase in heavy winds and hailstorms, that's definitely something that we're seeing in Illinois. There's overall inflation that's really driven up rates across the country, right? The rising cost of construction materials and rebuilding homes has just gone up.
Cornelison also contends that insurance companies have little opposition getting rate hikes approved by state regulators. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The Dow from Stifel down 349 points to 37,965.
The northwest flow has shut down the rain, but it has brought in a pretty good cool air mass. Lots of sunshine going through our afternoon. 59, that's it for the highs. Also, still a little bit on the windy side. Tonight, clear, cold, a light frost and a light freeze developing towards morning. 29-30 for the overnight low, but away from the urban environment, temperatures will get down to about 27, 28 degrees, and some will see a hard freeze. On Tuesday, sunny. It's just a cool day from start to finish. 55 for the high. Wednesday, clouds move in. Some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder late Wednesday afternoon and especially Wednesday night. High on Wednesday, 65. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Right now, we've got sunshine. It is 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Weber's World is sponsored by Weber Chevrolet, weberchevrolet.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 405 doing the Sweet 16, brought to you by Weber Chevrolet. Perfect things with the caveat that, of course, there's nothing perfect, but as close as it comes. Skip's first win was an early summer day. Andrew.
A cheesed burger.
Nice. I got it, too.
I don't have hardly any as it is, and you just took one.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
That's all right.
I can do a
You're
different
right.
one if you
No,
want.
no,
It's
no.
already
It's
up
perfect.
there.
No, I'll think of something. I got time to come around to me.
They're
Don't
not
worry.
not all cheeseburgers are perfect.
No,
but it has
the
been,
concept of the
But
cheese.
when
It
it
has
is-
been perfected.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wheels.
Gotcha.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, but I'm getting it out there because baseball is perfect.
Yes.
Everything about it, the atmosphere, the rules. Yeah, I mean, like not all the rules, but like the basics of it. Like it's
Oh,
just
sorry,
perfectly
that-
played.
That guy that's starting 10th inning at second base. That's not I don't care what you say.
You don't like the
I
ghost
can-
runner?
I can get. I
It
can
is a
go with
ghost
the
runner.
pitch.
Yeah,
I hated.
that's what we called it in wiffle ball.
Yeah,
It's a ghost
exactly.
runner.
Well, but in wiffle ball, there wasn't really even anybody there. It
No.
was just- yeah,
No,
yeah, that's not.
And
no,
you'd
but
argue over when
yeah.
they're forced in and when
exactly.
they're not.
No, he would have gotten home. No, he didn't force it.
He's
Yeah,
on third
exactly.
base.
Yep.
That's great. Rach.
What about fresh, clean sheets and bedding?
Oh, that's a good.
I have a nice warm bed when you're tired or sick. So
Yeah.
same kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write
Um,
down bed.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a good call.
How about dogs?
Perfect.
Dogs.
I think that's the one to beat
Perfect.
because I think they're as close to perfect as we have.
Yeah.
Like if
I
I were in a multiverse with no dogs,
No good.
Be terrible.
how do you do it?
And yeah, and it's absolutely true that there's no such thing as a bad dog. It's a bad owner.
Yep.
Yeah.
If a
100%.
dog is bad, it's because the owner was bad.
Yep.
Yep.
Period.
Back to Skip.
I'm gonna say a newborn baby.
Good one.
When
Good
you,
one.
you know, I mean, maybe not some strangers, but like if you're
Sure.
sibling
Yeah,
or
yeah.
yourself would have a newborn, it's just
Yeah.
they're the greatest.
Because they reach a certain age where you're like, now you're on my nerves.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
do.
Yeah, when
Like
they get to be
about
about
8.
12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when they sense their own funniness, you're like,
Yeah, okay,
give it
you
a
little
rest,
jerk.
Jackie. Andrew.
I will say Coca-Cola.
Oh,
Another perfected one.
okay. I like
Mhm.
it. I like it.
Hmm.
Like Coke.
I mean, it's got a lot of varieties, but just the concept of pizza is perfect.
I don't mind it. You guys are building a meal.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
hungry. Can you tell we're hungry?
I know.
Rach.
We're always 4 o'clock is always the food hour
Yeah.
if we're left to our own devices.
Putting this up against the early summer day, how about a fresh snow? Like you don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to worry about driving in it. Just see the fresh blanket of snow.
Okay. I like it.
What if you have a dog?
They love it. Well,
Yeah,
not
now
all of
you
them. I
got-
shouldn't say that.
Now you got to go to walk them in the snow.
Yeah,
That's
my 2
terrible.
dogs do not like the snow because they're little, but my big ones before loved the snow.
How about laughing?
Mm, do that a lot.
Just
Yeah.
whatever your poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Skip.
All right, picture a river. No, I'm just kidding. So follow me here, though.
Okay.
It's almost like the laughing.
Okay.
But you have like a certain friends. Whether let's say if you're married, you and your wife have another couple that you're friends with and you're good friends with, but you haven't seen them in a certain amount of time, and you get together with them. So an outing, you know, with the friends, the nice. It's a great like a reminiscence dinner or whatever you want to call it, but just an evening out with that you haven't been for a while, and it's just a nice that to me. I just had one of these. It was just so much fun. Laughed the whole time, just because we had catching up to do,
Yeah.
whatever. I think
I like
so,
it.
like an evening out with friends, but mainly with the thought of someone you haven't seen in a while.
Reunions. Andrew.
Yeah.
Maybe too close to the others, but I'm going to throw it out. A gentle rain.
Okay.
That's
Gentle
way
rain.
too close.
Just
to
enough
cheese-
Really close.
Way
but
too close to
I mean, it's
cheeseburgers.
kind of
Just enough
literally
to-
kind of halfway between the nice day
Cheeseburgers
the
and
cold
pizza.
day.
Just enough to like wet the driveway and give you that asphalt smell. Mm. Delightful.
sleep.
We
Kev.
go with hail.
All right, so you guys may or may not get me on this, but a rock concert is perfect.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no,
And
no.
I'm going,
That was
and
my-
I'm specifically
that was-
saying rock concert,
was
not
my
any other
last
kind,
one.
because you're not there to relax. You're not there to enjoy. You're there to rock out. You're
Yeah.
there for
Yeah.
for that energy and that feel.
I
when
can
the
see
bass
that.
and the drum are punching you in the chest is just the best feeling ever.
I had live music, but I see what you're saying with the more specific. I love it. I don't even care if it's music I really like. When it's played live, I just like it.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Rach.
The only one I have left is a home cooked meal.
Ooh.
But I mean, if you haven't had one in a while, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Okay, we'll put it down.
I had chocolate, whatever your iteration of that is.
Yep. I can
Or
go
we
with
have
that.
one left if we want to.
Okay.
How about when you have a young child and you do something fun like a Six Flags or something for the first time? The first time,
Yeah, those are
do something
cool.
like that.
Like
Now-
initiations kind of thing.
Yeah. By the end of the day, it's probably a nightmare because they're tired and everything. But like the first hour of such a thing.
You know what? Like the perfect example of that is Disney World. It's
Yes,
literally
exactly. The
like
first
all day long, it's the happiest
the
place
first
on
half
earth.
day of Disney, the first time in Disney World.
And then after dinner, it's just kicking and screaming and crying.
Then you're just effing everything.
Yeah. And you go, why would I ever do this again? And the next year, you do the same thing.
Yeah,
Do it again.
we're never coming back until next year.
And then the first day, you're like, we're coming back 3 times.
But like, or
You're like,
even,
once
even
was
like
enough.
taking someone to the circus or Disney on Ice for the first time they do any of those.
Yeah.
Everything's just like wonder. You
I
know,
like it. Okay, Sweet 16 of nearly perfect things. An early summer day versus a fresh snow.
Summer.
give me summer.
Yeah, summer. Vote against myself there.
Cheeseburger versus laughing.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I got to go laughing as much as I love cheeseburgers.
Me too.
Burger.
I'm gonna go cheeseburger. I'm gonna go cheeseburger.
Rach, it's up to
Hi to Rachel.
I'll go laughing.
Hey.
Did you want to go burger?
Well, we have other food on the list. Laughing's a really good one. I think it should stay
Okay.
on for a while.
Baseball versus an evening out with friends, especially a reunion.
Baseball.
Friends.
Friends.
I'm going friends.
Friends?
Sorry, DH, no. Ghost Runner, no. I can take the pitch. I
The
can
new
take
one's
the pitch
ruined it.
clock. I
I
love the
gotcha.
pitch. I like the pitch clock. I was against it, but I like it now. But Ghost Runners, no.
A soft warm bed versus the gentle rain.
Bed.
A gentle
Bed.
sprinkle
Bed.
of drizzle.
Bed.
You're out.
Bed.
Andrew's really selling it in
He's
the
trying.
most in the most off-putting way.
he's like, what about a little
He's like
rain?
Oliver Twist.
Exactly.
Cheeseburger, hamburger,
So-
dogs
Besides me.
versus a rock concert.
Oh,
Dogs.
dogs win.
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah, I just talked about how much I love live
Dogs
music, but
overall.
dogs, yeah.
A newborn baby versus a home cooked meal.
Baby.
I love
Food.
this game.
Baby.
I guess baby.
Yeah, babe.
Baby.
Baby.
A little baby.
I love when Skip had his one of my kids. He's like, you take a little kid. Where's this going? Coca-Cola versus chocolate.
Ooh.
Coca-Cola.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Coca-Cola.
Is it me?
Yeah.
They're based, they're not too
They're-
far removed.
They're tough.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a McDonald's Coke when I'm sick, and I'm going to go Coke. All right?
Oh, that sounds good.
Pizza versus the first time with kids.
Oh,
it is.
yeah. I got to go that first time.
First time with kids.
Yeah.
Pizza.
First time to the zoo with kids.
Pizza.
Andrew and I don't have kids. We're like, pizza, definitely.
I'm like,
Yum.
gotta be pizza.
Kid schmids.
Show me pizza.
First time kids move on. Elite 8. Early summer day versus laughing. This is a good
Laughing.
category. Got to go laughing again.
Yeah, I'll say laughing.
Laugh moves into the final 4. An evening out with friends versus a cozy warm bed.
Oh, man, that's the
Oh,
choice most people make every weekend.
Yes,
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the one I made this weekend.
I'm gonna say friends.
I'm going to say friends.
I'm going to go
too.
friends too.
I'm gonna say Friends 3.
There you go. Dogs versus a newborn baby.
Oh, man.
Now we're
Oh, my
separating the men from the boys.
Yeah.
Doggies.
Dogs don't poop in a diaper.
They,
They
just,
can.
they just crap on
You
the
didn't grow
floor.
up in South Roxana.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
They absolutely
I don't know
can.
what dogs you've ever owned. But they poop a lot more places than just inside a diaper.
They just go wherever they are.
And they do keep you up all night crying sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
I'm gonna
still
go
going-
newborn baby. The first time you're holding a newborn baby
Yeah.
is just great.
Yeah, I went with the doggies.
Where's that? I lost track.
I'll go baby, so it's a tidy.
Tied to you.
Oh, I'll go dogs, even though I have 2 babies.
Yeah. Well, they're not babies anymore.
Right. Yeah. Who needs them? Coca-Cola versus a first time experience with a small child.
Yeah. First
Junkie
time.
first time with a small child.
We know how these votes are going to go.
Give me that. Give me that
Dave.
classic
It's going to
Coke.
be tied to Dave.
It's like licorice.
All the dads are like,
Yeah.
everything kids.
Getting sunburnt, I guess.
Original recipe.
Kids.
Yeah.
Kids move on.
This is not fair.
That's why we voted against the babies. We
Yeah.
didn't want to make babies against the kids.
Babies.
Yeah.
Babies.
What's going on at Weber? How's the
Oh
month?
man, it's great. March was great, but remember that hailstorm?
Sure do.
Yeah, we got hail at Columbia. Only store that got it, but man, it's going great because it's not hardly noticeable, but there's extra $400-$600 on a bunch of the vehicles, so that's good. And then of course, this is a time of year where everything just starts really. It's a wheelhouse and plenty of vehicles, so there's great pricing on it. And then, people are a little bit worried about the tariffs, and I'm here to tell you, don't worry about that. Just, I don't know how much you've talked about it.
Not much. I've been
Yeah.
kind of waiting on you since you're
Okay.
the expert.
Well, I don't think it's going to impact us at all. I honestly don't. Now, if it does, you're talking about 45 days from now. Nothing on the lot here and it's not like people are going to say, okay, this vehicle crossed the border from wherever, so add money to that vehicle. That's not how it works.
See, I thought it was.
No, General Motors, there's 19 vehicles. Here's what total cost of them times percent. You owe us this much money. You can eat it. You can divide it up with there. You can put it on whatever, however you want to do it. And there's so many things that are go into it. For example, for Mexico and Canada, you have the extra value of the content. So if you have something that's built in Oshawa, Canada, for example, which has been more than once rated the best plant, most efficient plant in North America. So they build a lot of Silverados there. Well, most of the parts there are manufactured here in the U.S. So you have a percentage. So if you say you have a $50,000 truck and you say, okay, 15,000 of that is labor, 35,000 is parts, and out of that 35,000, 30 grand of it was American made.
Oh.
So now you're only paying tariff on 20,000, not
Okay.
50.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So that's only Mexico and US.
Yeah.
I mean, Mexico and Canada. But that's when it comes to GM, that's
What it is.
anything. Well, we have tracks built in Korea. Okay. So that's one of our best sellers, and that's coming across. So I was worried about that. But then your percentage on a small, cheap vehicle is not much. And so GM is at this point saying, we're not worry about it. We're not raising the price of tracks because of this. So do they raise the price of the expensive stuff because of it? Maybe. I don't know, but they're not planning on it.
So are BMW and Toyota dealerships pooping water?
Way more affected. I mean, I think I saw something today that I think Jaguar and Range Rover are stopping their shipments at the moment to figure out how they're going to handle it because they're high dollar, 100% not made in the U.S. and none of the parts are made in the U.S. So they're subject to the whole thing.
So you're a smart guy. Do you think this is going to get ironed out in the next couple of
I
months?
think by June 1st, we're not talking about it. I think it's just a bargaining chip. I think it's a brilliant bargaining chip. I don't, people say, oh my gosh, it's going to be, whatever you think of the personality of the person doing it. The reason why it's a brilliant bargaining chip, in my opinion, we have all the cards. If you look at each one of these trade agreements, we are the moron in it. We allowed. I mean, there's still stuff we're doing for the Marshall Plan for Europe. It's the same exact stuff we're still, or for what we're building up, the post-war Japan. They haven't needed it since 1950, and we're still doing the same attitude toward it. And we just kind of let people do it because we can. Oh, we're just nice guys and stuff. So we don't have to be jerks about it. Let's just be fair about it. Just do the same thing both directions. And I think that our economy being the biggest in the world, everybody can say, well, we're going to tariff you. That's not an equal. It's not us saying you import to us, charge this is a way bigger bargaining chip. And I don't think Trump has any intention of leaving those on. I don't think he wants to do it, to leave them on to get the money. He's doing it just like the very beginning when all of a sudden, let's we're going to cooperate on the border, and we're going to cooperate with fentanyl interdiction and all that, and it worked because they don't want to pay it, and so it's not a matter to make enemies. I don't think that even
Well, you're the first person to make me feel better.
I think there's I've read something, and I don't most of my news comes from sources that are not the mainstream, and I'm throwing Fox News into the mainstream because they're the big. Most of my news comes from there, and I think I read something today that there's getting close to 50 countries that are lining up and have queued up to negotiate trade, and I think that I think most of those will make it, and all of a sudden you'll see everything disappear, and it'll be free flow.
You're right,
but you'll see better pricing, and you will see a bunch of stuff being built here. I mean, already you go back to the car plants, Ford and GM are already restocking the plants here, and so I think it's gonna be a good thing. It's just chill. Everybody's 401k. Yeah, I get it. Mine too. Everybody just don't sell yet. Just do what you can.
Okay, when we come back, we'll do the final four of the Sweet 16.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report is a service of Financial and Tax Strategies. Again, 141 is closed underneath 44 because of the rising Merrimack. Southbound 141 has been about status quo back at about Helfrich. Westbound 44, though, you have delays from Lindbergh all the way out to the 141 exit, and eastbound 44 is bogged down east of 141 through Bowles up to the Merrimack to 270. South 270, you are jammed approaching, let's call it south of Dorset down to 64. It's slow from Manchester all the way down to Gravois. Folks are getting off at 44 and also taking westbound 30 home because of the situation there. Downtown, the emergency repair work, eastbound 64 at the Illinois end of the Poplar. Left lanes are closed. 44 and 64 both jammed east of Grand up onto the bridge. Westbound 44 is backed up through the bridges. Eastbound 70 jams going across the Musel Veterans Bridge all the way over to 64 from the Missouri side. And eastbound 70 from the Three Eyes and Troy most of the way to Route 4 is backed up. Westbound 64 Boyle out to McCausland's on the brakes. Clayton Worth to the 270 slow. Western Winghaven out to 70 is pretty heavy. Eastbound 64 through Mason to 270 is pretty busy right now as well. And we have a lot of backed up traffic on Telegraph southbound 255 all the way down to almost Herb Road, it looks like. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Paid for by Darlene Green for Comptroller, John Nix Treasurer.
It's your money. $1 billion budget each year at City Hall. Darlene Green is the seat at the table for our community. Darlene Green manages our tax dollars with a steady hand. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller. Respected, trusted, our voice for the community. On Tuesday, April 8th, vote to re-elect Darlene Green for Comptroller because it's your money.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education, but that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
This is a story of the one.
As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Soybean biodiesel blends keep heavy-duty trucks, trains, tractors, and marine vehicles running year-round. Soy-based biodiesel has increased the price of soybeans by 10%, increasing farmer profitability. Every gallon supports farmers, strengthens communities, and cuts dependence on foreign oil. These economic benefits don't stop at the farm. The biodiesel supply chain sustains more than 3,000 Illinois jobs. Find out more at illsoy.org/farmer-resources. Paid for by the Illinois Soybean Checkoff Program.
Now, 90 and 60. A look back at the latest St. Louis City SC match. Presented by Woods Basement Systems, Inc.
Quiz team, top of the 18. Give back Morales. This one fly. It just misses. Davis cuts it back. Golish a shot. Oh, Big Ben lifts the big mid and knocks it away. A little badminton work for Luke. Turns one forward. Vollum has space. Closing in into the 18. Slides a shot. Hits it on the inside of the post and it stays out of the goal. Oh, he went back post at a centimeter. After 90 total minutes of regular play, KC 2, City nothing.
Up next, City SC faces the Columbus Crew Sunday night. Kick at 6:30 on Y98.
Tripping over uneven concrete? Don't replace it, raise it with concrete leveling. Call the all things basementy experts, Wood Basement Systems, for a free estimate at 618-249-5503 or learn more at woodsbasementsystems.com.
News, talk, cars. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DJS, just a couple minutes in this segment here. Sweet 16 brought to you by Weber Chevrolet. Sweet 16 of nearly perfect things. Final four. Laughing versus an evening out with friends.
Well, those kind of go together.
Yeah,
don't
they really do.
Because of evening out with friends is so good because of all the laughing that you do. But
evening.
I'm going to say the evening.
Yeah, me too.
Reconnecting.
Evening in the finals versus dogs or a kid's first time doing an event.
Dog.
Yeah, I gotta go dogs. I'm sorry.
I'll go
dogs.
I'll go dogs too. I think dogs too.
Okay. Dogs versus an evening out with friends and laughing.
Dogs over people.
There's no bad dogs, only bad owners.
Dogs, most perfect
Doggies!
things. And the super champion is best invention ever, television. So what is better, the invention of television or the perfection of dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs, I think.
This may be really tough to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may have to retire it.
Could be. This one could be just like on the first one on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. There you
just
go.
moves on. It's always there.
I like that. Dogs.
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 Every dog has its day.
I bet that dog.
One of the greatest videos ever. What was the dog? Was it a bear?
It was a bear.
Yeah.
It's like in Gatlinburg. I mean, it's like right in where we go.
Can I pet that dog?
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Drury Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
At 4:30, this news update is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got sunshine, 57 downtown at the Arch. The National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for us from midnight tonight through 9 a.m. Watch out for those plants. Temperatures will drop to sub-freezing temperatures overnight. There has been another drowning because of flooding in Howell County near West Plains. We told you about an O'Fallon, Missouri man who died in floodwaters last week in the same area. Sunday afternoon, a man's body was recovered after his truck was washed away while trying to cross a low water crossing. The 45-year-old was from West Plains. Several members of Missouri's congressional delegation are requesting an audit of the U.S. Postal Service performance in eastern Missouri. That includes St. Louis. U.S. Senator Josh Hawley says in a letter to the USPS Inspector General that St. Louis area residents are facing significant disruptions in mail delivery.
Listen, the mail delivery has been, frankly, just totally unacceptable. The post office has not met its mail delivery targets for something like 6 years in a row now. And this is one of the reasons that the Postmaster General has resigned, finally. And in Missouri in particular, it's just outrageous. Rural areas, urban areas, people cannot get their mail.
The new Mega Millions rule not only gives you a slightly better chance of winning, but it also increases the jackpot prize.
More billion-dollar jackpots and slightly better odds of winning. That's the new Mega Millions. Lottery players will now pay $5 instead of $2. But that also means the jackpot can start at $50 million instead of the previous $20 million. Rules go into effect during Tuesday's drawing. Lottery officials say the hike in ticket prices will increase revenue and can lower the odds of winning from 1 in 303 million to 1 in 290 million. But experts say hitting that jackpot is still incredibly unlikely. Lottery officials expect the jackpot to top the 1 billion threshold. These new rules were set up to differentiate Mega Millions from Powerball and to address jackpot fatigue, which means prizes have to really stand out for lottery players to buy tickets. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now with Stifel's Scott Bedell. Scott?
Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. A volatile day, to say the least, as the major financial indexes had an 8% swing from low to high in the first hour of trading, only to sell off into the close. When the dust settled, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 349 points, or just about 0.9% to 37,965. The Standard & Poor's 500 index lower by 0.25% to 5,062, while the NASDAQ Composite Index eked out a gain of 15 points to close at 15,603. The Bloomberg St. Louis Stock Index moved down off 1% at 1,329. A couple of winners among St. Louis stocks. Boeing added 1.6% to $138.86. Emerson Electric up 2.5% at $96.97. On the downside, Anheuser-Busch dropped 2.75% at $59.27. Stifel Financial fell 0.75% at $78.51, while Edgewell Personal Care lost 5.5% to close at $27.99. This has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, we invite you to visit our website at stifel.com.
Got that frost and freeze toward morning overnight. Low temperature 29 for tomorrow's start off cold, sunny and cool overall with a high of 55, 65 with some spot storms for Wednesday. Right now 57 under a sunny sky downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
This traffic report's a service of Siding Express. The Fenton area is pretty busy this afternoon with 141 being closed. Under 44, southbound 141 jam south of Big Bend. down into Valley Park. Westbound 44, you've got delays approaching Lindbergh out past 141. Eastbound 44 is heavy from by Bowles over to 270. South 270 jams south of Dorset down to 64, but then it's slow all the way down to 44. Not as bad approaching Gravois now. Westbound 64 Boyle out to McCausland's bogged down. Lindbergh out to Ballas is slow. Eastbound Mason to 270 is heavy as well. And in St. Charles County, it's slow westbound from 364 Winghaven really out to Highway 70. Downtown, that emergency repair work eastbound in the left lanes at the Illinois end of the Poplar has 44 backed up to